Hello, everyone. Whee. Oh, boy. Sorry for the whole week being a week, but we get to do things.
We're back for more Daegyakten Saibon.
We're back. We want to do more escapades.
Escapades!
And then maybe later we could go back to the gallery, do some videos. I haven't even looked at the auditorium. Yeah, probably escapades, maybe auditorium, then we go to the video.
Sounds good.
We'll see.
Escapades.
Alright, so the first one was in the defendant's chamber, alternate title Bully Kazuma Hours. In which we learned that Kazuma is actually incompetent and can't say words. And
he's vibrating now.
I
can say words.
can say words just fine.
I say the best words.
Yeah. Or you stay silent for 5 straight minutes.
Ridiculous, ridiculous. I don't buy it at all.
Alright, so let's check out the first class cabin.
Boy. Yeah, boy. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is exciting. Okay. Spoilers!
Yeah.
I like that they have these spoiler warnings.
Yeah, but, you know, spoiler warning is in the...
Spoiler warning. We finished the whole game.
Title, so...
Yes. Oh boy.
Big spoiler warnings.
It's almost 2 weeks now since we left Japan. I can't believe how quickly time has gone. So, our next port of call will be Shanghai. Who's there? Who could it be at this hour?
Who could it be?
Wait, I have to untie you from the bed if we're gonna let anyone in.
Right.
Oh,
wait.
hang on just a moment.
Hey, hold on.
How about I'll just toss this a blanket over you.
All right. Okay.
Just stay nice and quiet, dear kid. A detective.
That's Sherlock, I'm sure.
Yes. Ah, I see. He's saying I'm a detective. A detective? Who? Inspector Hosonaga? A great detective, my dear fellow! I don't get it. What's a great detective? If you would just be so kind as to open the door. This is the meeting that we've all been waiting for. Oh, yes. Sorry, of course. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Is something wrong, detective? Are you investigating a case? I haven't tripped over any cats today. Wherever a great detective goes, great cases occur. Indeed, I am the root of all evil.
Oh, cool.
Very well, if you would like to take on that moniker, it is yours. Sorry? Someone's sounding very like Ryukun right there. Then I don't think I want you in my cabin. I know who I do want in my cabin. Under our very noses on this steamship, a terrible theft has just occurred. What? You noticed, I presume, the brief power failure a short while ago. Oh, yes. The power couldn't have been out for more than 10 minutes, though. That's almost twice as long as your humiliation, my dear friend, in this speech competition. Shut up. Indeed, yet that was ample time for this wicked crime to be perpetrated. I speak English. Good. I see. Well,
You can use a pipe down from the closet. It's perpetrated!
I'm fine, thank you. Clearly it's a case that needs investigating, so go along, go investigate now. Don't look at the bed. Stop looking at the bed. Why are you looking at the bed? Precisely. The culprit ran away in this direction, down the first-class cabin passageway here, directly into this bed. Right under this blanket, I suspect. Really? The thief came this way? Nudge, nudge, nudge.
I just unshoved Ryukun in the closet.
Hides the pillow. I'm quite sure of it. It may have escaped the attention of the dim-witted crew, but not of the great detective. To that end, I would be obliged if you would allow me to investigate here in this cabin. That's going to be a no from me.
I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
You can investigate your way out of this cabin.
How about you investigate the other side of the ship?
Well, I still have him tied to the bed.
Right.
The handcuffs going all the way to the wardrobe. How curious. Is there some reason why it would inconvenience you to have your bed searched? And the rest of the cabin? And that wardrobe over there?
Maybe a slightly different crime is taking place in this cabin.
Is it a crime to love? Inconvenience me? Well, I'd be lying if I said no.
Mm-hmm.
I love that this is from Cosmo's perspective. That's great. After all, I do have someone tied to the wardrobe.
Right, yeah.
There's a stowaway in that wardrobe right over there, and he's a cutie.
It's the prettiest stowaway there is.
It's just me in here, you see. No one else, no one at all stands in front of
I was
wardrobe.
gonna say, real subtle, Kazuma. Yep, just me.
Just me.
Only me.
No one else.
Couldn't possibly be anyone else here in this cabin.
So you might perhaps want to focus your attention on one of the other first-class cabins. As it happens, you are the only first-class passenger at present. The other cabins are vacant.
Well, then why didn't you check the vacant rooms?
I did, and I spotted one Miss Susato looking quite longingly at the door of it. What? Oh? Oh no! Oh no! Someone's hungry?
I think that might have been the ship creaking. I know it is. He hungry.
Did that rather tragic rumbling of the stomach arise from within you, my good fellow?
I didn't properly hear the groan.
Oh, he's a good fellow, not a dear fellow. Of course. As I said, I'm the only person in here. The only one.
Only one. You're
Just
being very
me.
subtle, Cosma.
Just me.
It's a wonder that he wasn't caught before you died.
With perfect posture in front of the wardrobe. Just me. It's not long until dinner time now, so perhaps we could do this afterwards, and by this I mean you leave and I do him. I do apologize, sir, but it is of the first importance that the investigation is not delayed. All right, investigate under the bed, and I'll just open the wardrobe and just let you Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait, where did he go? He's hanging from the ceiling like a bat. Oh no! How did he suddenly move all the way over there? Yes, without a doubt, if the culprit were to be hiding in this cabin, it would have to be inside this wardrobe.
No!
He stuck him back in the trunk, though.
No. Sorry to hear that, Wolfie.
Aww. Feel better.
I hope you can sleep eventually, but we're glad to have you here until you do.
I shall need to examine this wardrobe thoroughly. I presume you have no objection?
I have a lot of objections.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to decline. Really, you won't find any... Can you do history? I didn't get him saying that. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to politely decline your offer to be so fucking nosy. Get out of my cabin!
Right.
Gesundheit, you can. Did those two rather tragic sneezes arise from your good self?
Of course.
Of course they did, as I said. I'm the only person in here. Get the fuck out of my cabin, Mr. Great Detective. You have a curious knack of talking while sneezing, then. Twice, no less. This is going to be a tough one to argue. I was watching you quite intently, sir, and I assure you, I saw no signs of a sneeze. I assure you, you should get a better hobby. Couldn't you have held your nose? As I was saying, I shall need to examine this wardrobe. Examine your ass. Get out of here.
Right?
We've had it now then. The game's up. No, no, no! My good fellow, the game is afoot! It can't be up if it's afoot.
Thought the game was a game.
Thanks, Dad. Ah, Creek. Oh, Diokun. No. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Nobody hiding in there, it seems. He was under the blankets.
What?
Diokun, how did you...
He climbed up to the top or something.
You seem surprised. No, not at all. Yes, I am! He wasn't there for sure. I shut the doors on him myself. Knock, knock, knock. No. More visitors? Who's this now, Susato? Oh boy. Excusing me.
Oh, it's Sailor-chan.
Seaman Stroganoff. Sorry for disturbing, but crime has been committed on board ship. It is great crime.
Yes, I heard. A terrible theft, apparently.
Thanks, Kazuma.
Oh, sorry. I am so used to being the main character. I'm sorry.
I'm everyone in
I'm
here.
sorry.
Again. How do you know this?
I'm sorry.
Well, the detective here just informed me, you see. Detective. Yes, I assumed you must have asked him to investigate. Detective, could you... Where did he go? What is going on? I must ask you to cooperate with the investigation into this crime, fully. He's glaring at the wardrobe already. Is it really such a crime to love? And to be loved? Oh boy. Yeah! Ha ha ha! Well done, you found me! What are you doing hiding in my wardrobe? He got in there with you again. My good man, I was merely assessing the practicality of concealment in such a place. And I would say that, at a push, a human could survive for up to 5 minutes in that cramped space. Oh, you haven't seen how much my Ryukun folds. Ryunosuke's been in there for a fortnight. Is he not human?
He definitely becomes an animal in bed.
Who are you? Shh. This is the moment of truth. The great detective is about to unveil the sordid details of this wretched crime.
Oh, good luck.
Do a logic and reasoning spectacular, please. You mean to say... Yes, there can be no doubt that the culprit of this terrible theft did indeed conceal himself within this wardrobe. What? But that's impossible. He couldn't have done. Because my best friend was in there the entire time. Or at least, I thought he was. I really like that because, like, so much of what you hear about them being best friends is from Ryukun. Mm-hmm. He's my best friend. Oh, my best friend. I like getting to hear Kazuma say, my best friend. He's my best friend. How can you be sure of this? Elementary, my dear fellow. The criminal left behind the most revealing evidence. How else could you explain these 3 bones? That would be one for me, one for Ryukun, and later on
right.
What the? He's right. Look at those gnawed bones in there. Look at the bones, and 3 of them.
Yeah. Wow. I thought the bones were gonna come later.
The criminal has escaped this time, but I will find him and crush him. Could I ask you something, detective? Why, yes, of course. I am always delighted to answer an inquiring mind. In this terrible theft, what exactly was stolen? Aha! What else?
But 3 bones.
But some steaks on the rib bone. Huh? Did you seriously? Steaks on the rib bone. For this evening's dinner, 3 rib steaks were stolen from ship's kitchen only a short time ago. It's ridiculous. there was malfunction with generator and ship was without lights for 10 minutes. Chef who saw criminal said he ran away down first-class passageway. And now I'm on his tail. You're on his tail, huh? I'm afraid to say, dear fellow, that your man is no longer in this cabin. But how? Through the cabin door, no less. Having devoured his haul in this wardrobe. Well, someone certainly devoured something. The culprit discarded the bones and concealed himself behind the cabin door as you came inside. Then, when attention was turned to the wardrobe, he seized his chance to escape through the open door. What? Make haste, my good man, after the culprit. I shall follow presently. Something troubles you, sir. I think maybe criminals not running away at all. Exclamation mark. What are you suggesting? Now I know where the dog is buried, Mr. Asogi.
I'm sorry?
Me? Da! When I think that you are culprit, everything is falling in places. You sound strangely like my boyfriend, who is definitely not here and definitely not in the wardrobe. The criminal that disappeared in first-class passageway, the bones in the wardrobe. All clues are pointing their fingers at you!
Why would he eat it in the wardrobe, though?
Don't be ridiculous. I would never eat a steak in a wardrobe. Yes, of course. I established at once that you couldn't be the perpetrator of this crime. You did? Why? How are you so sure? My dear fellow, there are but two things in this world on which one can rely with total certainty. The first is that a great detective lies through his ass all the time. Basically, everything I say is lies.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing? The first? Well, I was right.
No, yeah, his word is crap.
And the second? A stomach never lies. The second is the tragic rumbling of an empty belly. Not again! When I first entered this cabin, there did arise from this gentleman a belly rumbling so odiously tragic that it confirmed beyond all doubt. Because I've been sharing my meals with Birkin. But the man had not eaten a single rib steak in some time, let alone 3. Poor Kazuma. Why do I have to suffer this humiliation when I've done nothing wrong?
It's always bully Kazuma hours, I guess.
I will catch this thief. He cannot have gone far. Indeed, assuming he decided against a post-meal constitutional swim. Oh dear. Well, if you will excuse me now. I will not excuse you. I will ask you to get the fuck out of here, but there are no excuses for this.
Yeah.
Mr. Whoever you are. Detective. One moment, please. Yes. That was a most remarkable deduction. Perhaps you'd be kind enough to tell me your name. Ah, it quite slipped my mind. You have been talking with the one and only... Haddock Sholmes! I see. Well, I'm Kazuma Asogi. I'm a student on my way to Great Britain. Just me. All alone. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Asogi. Oh, and before I forget, I'm going to horribly betray you and your friends soon. What was that? Nothing. What? I feel I should warn you.
I'm going to sell you wholesale down the river.
Live cargo is strictly forbidden on this vessel. As are handcuffs, unless you're me, in which case, if you'd like to borrow a pair. You would do well to conceal the stowaway currently lying low under your bed as carefully as possible.
He was under the bed!
He was under the bed!
Oh my god.
Okay, so he put him under the blanket, and then Deerkin was like,
rolls off the bed and under the blanket.
Nice move, Deerkin. Oh, under the bed? Oh, he's a sneaky one. I bid you farewell then, Mr. Sogi. Deerkin? He's uncovered our secret! I suppose I should have expected nothing less of a great detective. Machi blowing in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Now then. Yeah! When did you move in under the bed? I thought we'd had it when he opened the wardrobe door. Oh, look!
We get to see him! We get to see him face to face. Well, it was taking that split-second chance you engineered.
That I engineered?
Yeah, I did that on purpose. You distracted him for a moment, remember?
Uh-huh. You're distracting me. Oh.
When you suggested that he investigated the other cabins instead.
I did suggest that. Yes. He turned to look toward the corridor, didn't he?
Well, I couldn't see what he's doing, of course.
Look at all the new poses.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we can see his waist.
Mm-hmm.
We can see his waist. He has really good posture.
He's a cute boy.
He's a cute boy.
But I thought to myself, it's now or never, and the next thing I knew, I was under the bed.
Could have been in it. You really know how to give me a scare, don't you? Anyway. What's all this about the rib steaks, hmm?
Oh, sorry about that.
Aww.
I've just been so hungry.
Aww. My love, I'll give you all my food. Aww. Oh, look at him.
Ever since we left Japan, I stuck in that tiny wardrobe. Well, you should know. You've been splitting all your meals with me. You must be starving too, surely.
Anything for you. Aww. Aww. Oh, we're gonna need to replay that a lot. That, like, the in-between there was like,
yeah, I love that. I love that a lot. And there was that power cup before, wasn't there? For about 10 minutes?
So it was then.
I got off with the most delicious smell.
No.
I thought to myself, it's now or never. And the next thing I knew, I had the steak in my hands.
Aww. I'm just imagining a little mouse with a giant ass steak. Oh, this man just can't help getting himself into trouble.
You should talk. You fucking delinquent.
When I say getting himself into trouble,
You're the one
I
who
mean...
suggested I stow away the ship, for God's sake.
Well, alright, you were hungry, but 3 steaks? 3? Thanks to you, 3 crewmen are going to go without tonight, I imagine. Oh.
No, it was just the one.
Oh my god, I love that!
Yeah.
Look at that! Oh. What? I'm sorry, dear, because we're just posing.
I only took 1 rib steak from the kitchen, that's all.
Aha. But I don't understand.
Hey, I'm not that selfish.
Oh, you're such a cutie.
If I'd stolen 3 steaks, I'd at least have tossed 1 your way.
Oh, Newgren. I'm not your pet dog.
Yeah, I'm your pet dog.
Well, in that case, who stole the other 2?
Do you think...
I definitely think.
Could they be... Who's on board? Oh, come on, dude.
Look at him freaking out. Look at him. Oh.
Meat-loving...
He's so superstitious and spooked. There could only have been a single bone in the wardrobe when Ryunosuke moved to hide under the bed. That single bone was in his pants. Which means that the other 2 bones can only have been put there by one very flesh and blood person.
Ooh!
Ooh,
we get a rear view.
God.
Third person Ace Attorney.
Wow.
Incredible.
Amazing. I love it. This like never. Oh, we get to see the 2 of them together.
Oh, it's so funny. We're on a haunted ghost ship.
Aww. A great detective or a great mischief maker. Either way. I think I'd like to spend a little more time getting to know that man.
No, you don't.
No, you really don't. You really don't. Oh, the great Hairlock Sholmes. Look at them. Look at them. Oh my god, and look at them. They made so many great new faces and poses for them. No. No.
Goodbye.
Come back.
Oh. That was great.
That was wonderful.
I had a great time.
That was wonderful. It was a great escapade. Can we have more, just more of them on the ship, please? Just more ship adventures.
Well, no, we get the British Supreme Court.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Hooray.
go. Aww. Oh,
What?
we got to see Cosmo and Yukon on the ship again.
Yeah.
Overemphasizing that he was definitely in the wardrobe.
And then on the bed,
And
under the bed.
under the bed. He's everywhere but inside the bed.
Clearly does not have
No.
those 5 bracelets. He surely doesn't.
He has not acquired them.
He has not acquired them. I was thinking though, like if you only have half meals for like 14 straight days,
Yeah, God.
y'all are gonna get fucking hungry.
For sure. Start getting delirious.
Here we are again.
Every time we visit here, the atmosphere in this place seems to get more and more overbearing.
Just think, we could be at home with Mr. Sholmes and Iris having a nice cozy breakfast.
That's so cutie calls it home. But we have a duty to report on the outcome of the case, especially since we're guests here in Britain.
So
I'm
he get the
afraid-
case file?
I know, right? This visit couldn't have been avoided.
It should have been. I suppose not. But is there even anyone here? I could hear a pin drop in this place. It's too solemn for its own good.
It is very quiet, isn't it? The only sound is the ticking of the great clock as it keeps perfect time. It's a mouse? Is it Chunosuke? What was that, I wonder? Chu. The usual comforting sound of the clock seems to have been joined by a less comforting shuffling sound today. Choo.
Alright, something's disturbing the rhythmical ticking. Someone's fucking back there. Sounds rather like an unfit middle-aged man running from pillar to post, clumsily.
Oh boy. Yep.
Oh yeah, call it unfit. Ugh. Oh, Inspector Gregson, what are you doing here? I thought you were dead. This is before I die, obviously. What am I? Isn't it flippin' obvious? Ugh. Oh, it's our favorite.
58 seconds remaining, Inspector.
We'll have to talk later, sunshine.
What? Good morning, Lord Strongheart.
Oh, he's really looking fiercely at his pocket watch today.
And good morning to you. Business so early in the day.
Oh, yes, well, I mean, it's about the other day,
We are to deliver our report, Lord Strongheart, as our dealings with Mr. Natsume are now over. Ah, yes, the little Japanese man. I've already cast my eyes over Van Zeeks' report.
Yeah, I thought so.
Zeeks. I must say the outcome surprised me. I thank you for a job well done.
You are too kind, my lord.
It's not here, it's not there, it's definitely not over there either. I hope you don't mind me asking, but what exactly is the inspector doing? He's been harrying around between the bookshelves, looking beside himself with worry.
The inspector is most certainly not whoring around between the herring. He's looking for a particular work, The Lion's Pride.
Now there's an all too familiar title.
The whoring only happens at Madame Tusspel's.
Please.
I'd heard it was a popular tale, so I obtained a copy from the rental library. Strong heart goes to the library. However, it wasn't able to maintain my interest, so I soon cast it aside. I happened to notice a vacant spot on one of my shelves at the time, so I duly stowed the book there. Unfortunately, I no longer remember where that was.
Nope, not there, not here either. Come on, where are you lying, Titan?
Oh my god, I would do with one of these escapades a day for the rest of our lives. The book is due back today, so I've asked Gregson to locate it for me with his investigative prowess. My library book. Very important Scotland Yard investigation. Inside 5 minutes! That's about as long as I heard it took Asogi to endure that humiliation at his speech contest. Hey, are you talking about me?
I've
come back from the dead to tell you, fuck you!
You're dead!
I must say, I've never seen anyone working so hard to find something. He's like a man possessed.
Yes, that's because his month's salary is staked upon the outcome!
Jesus Christ!
History. Oh my god, he's pulling a Myra-roo. He's Miles Edgeworth today!
Mm-hmm.
He's Miles Edgeworth!
Whose instigation? Let me guess. The stony-faced lord.
Stony-faced lord.
Lord. And the 5-minute time limit? What's the significance of that?
The significance of that.
For funsies, obviously.
For funsies, and also to match the time of the humiliation that is
Yeah, for funsies! For fucking funsies!
There is none.
Damn it.
Just my vulgar, mischievous spirit showing itself, I'm afraid.
How spiriting of you. By your own admission, too.
That's the Sato face.
I can't. My feet are killing me.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, Inspector.
Ah!
I gave you 2 extra seconds on the last second. Next month you will work unpaid and have no days off. What the fuck?
No days off.
Oh, God. No. Oh, poor Gregsy.
Oh,
No.
oh, thank you, Wolfie. You're so sweet. There really are just so
Aw.
many books here. It's overwhelming.
So many books. For some, perhaps. I've purchased every book, new or old, on the subject of law from all over the globe.
Wouldn't have believed a few short decades ago, a place like this couldn't have existed.
What do you mean, Inspector?
When I was a lad, no one ever dreamed of buying books. Oh, I see. Western books are such luxury items, I suppose, with their leather covers and fancy bindings. No, that's not it.
Oh?
There was a tax on paper, see? On paper? Yeah, I mean, it was abolished about 30 years back now, but it used to be the case.
Wow.
There was a tax levied on any kind of paper.
Boy.
So obviously that meant most folks couldn't afford to buy any books at all.
Clever way to keep down the common classes.
So is that why places like the rental library you mentioned before came into existence, Lord Strongheart?
Indeed. Vestiges of the paper tax system, you could say. The general public consider books as items for hire. London is home to a vast lending library of some 3.5 million books.
You couldn't hope to read all of that even if you were reincarnated 10,000 times.
Even I would choose to rent a book rather than purchase it if I knew I would read it infrequently.
The subject of taxes actually surprised us already in the last few days. It came up in Mr. Natsume's trial. It seemed that the window in his room was filled in due to some kind of window tax.
That would be true. Fortunately, the window tax was abolished here some 40 years ago. Sadly, in the East End in particular, many windowless houses remain.
Britain's always had a bit of a thing for tax and stuff. Whatever they can tax, they tax. Sugar, salt, tea, coffee, you name it. Candles, beards. Wait, sorry, what was that last one? Did you say beards?
I gotta tax your beard if you get one, lad.
Yep, the beard tax. Never heard of it.
And by beard, I mean your future wife.
Right. Never. Why should people have to pay money just because they let their facial hair grow? Well, you may well ask. I suppose it's because it makes them look self-important. The Nanahotas will have a strict family policy of no facial hairs, I think.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
Passed down through the ages.
No facial hair.
You can relax. The beard tax was confined to the annals of history long ago.
Even so, it's clearly something the British really love. Paying taxes, I mean. Paying taxes!
Paying taxes! Oh, you're so cute,
That's
Dukin.
funny.
Paying taxes.
Paying them. You got that back to front, sunshine. You can't deny you've had a lot of funny taxes over the years. You'd never find anything like that in Japan. Would you, Susato-san?
In actual fact, I'm afraid to say that you would, Naruhodo-san.
What? No. You don't mean... Surely there's never been a window tax in Japan.
No, but there have been similarly obscure taxes. For example, in the Edo period, there was a frontage tax.
What was that?
There was a tax on the front, then there was an ass tax. It was a tax not on windows, but on the entrance to properties. The larger a property's entrance was, the greater the tax that was levied on it. Even today, some mansions survive with extremely narrow entrances due to that old form of taxation.
I had no idea.
Neither did I, actually. Good history lesson.
Hooray!
That's where the Genkons come from.
The Japanese are as twisted as us Brits. But we never had a beard tax. I mean, that's really going a step too far.
Well, no, that's true. I'm not aware of any taxes for beards, at least, so you're okay to get a wife.
Right. What do you mean, at least?
Well, rather than tax them, the shogunate did once prohibit them outright.
The ruling class prohibited beards. No marrying if you're gay.
It was called the Great Beard Prohibition. It was an Edo period edict.
Why do the powers that be want to ban beards?
Too many gays.
Because it makes people look self-important. That's an idea.
Franksy.
It would seem that rulers in the East and the West have had very similar ideas over the years. There have been other unusual taxes in our history, even in our current Meiji era.
There have?
For example, though it was before either of us were born, there was a rabbit tax.
They tax you every time you fucked. There was a tax on those adorable fluffy creatures. Like the ones who make sweet mochi sweets on the moon.
Aww.
The one who makes makes mochi sweets on the moon? What? Deacon.
Such a cutie. Do you know what this is?
No.
Oh, okay. So, like, you know how in America we have the, like, the moon is made of cheese thing? Yeah.
Oh.
So the Japanese thing about the moon is that there's a rabbit on the moon that makes mochi. And that is why Sailor Moon is named Usagi for rabbit. She's named Rabbit because she's Sailor Moon.
Oh, that's cute.
So she's a bunny. Yeah.
That's very cute.
Adorable fluffy creatures. He likes rabbits.
He likes rabbits. He thinks rabbits are
rabbits.
adorable, but who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Yes, and it was an extremely large tax too. The government demanded extraordinary sums of money. They just really fucking hated rabbits.
This just gets stranger and stranger. What was the reason for that bizarre tax then? More rabbits for the moon.
Well, after Japan opened its doors to the world, there was an unprecedented rabbit boom in the Meiji capital.
A boom?
Yes, keeping rabbits became hugely popular, and new species were traded at exorbitant prices. So the government said, let's cash in. People were even swindled out of all of their money for exotically colored rabbits.
Like colored chicks, I suppose. Hard to imagine, though. Rabbits are so timid and quiet. Wouldn't have thought one could bankrupt you.
I love that they're just like all hanging out, talking about rabbit taxes with like them and Lord Strongheart and Mr. Fish and Chips here.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just talk about funny taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Little do we all know what we're all gonna get into together.
Right.
So in response to this worrying social vogue, the government imposed a rabbit tax.
I suppose they couldn't just ignore the problem.
And it worked because the rabbit boom came to an abrupt end. 6 years later, the tax was abolished.
Well, I hate to say it about my own country, but Japan is strange.
But there's more. After the rabbit tax was abolished, then, of course, society reacted by launching straight into a second rabbit boom.
Oh dear. The government didn't think that one through, did they?
Oh my god. Your ideas about the world are very much altered by the position you hold in society. If you are responsible for the running of the country, you will feel the need to raise revenue keenly. Do you think salaries come out of nowhere?
Without a stable taxation system, the whole country would go down the drain. Well, yes, I suppose so, but some of these taxes...
That's precisely why ministers of state use their wiles to invent new and novel ways of taxing the public.
Novel ways?
It's like new, only novel. Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, if you were one of my country's statesmen...
Me? A British statesman?
Don't worry, it will never happen.
Okay, cool.
Yes, what novel tax would you impose? Pray, give us something truly original. I have to say, he sounds more like Ben Zeeks right now. Inside 5 seconds. Okay, now he sounds like Strongheart.
What? Oh,
Think of something that everyone uses, Mr. Naruhodo, and really squeeze every penny out of the population.
toilet paper!
Yes! Brilliant!
That's quite an intense stare. I'm very glad Susato-san isn't in charge.
Your time is up. So what's your answer?
Well... Air, maybe? Yes, how about air?
That's pretty close to toilet paper. Everyone does need it. An air tax, you say?
Oxygen.
We'll give it a go.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. A truly novel and fiendish idea. I love it.
Everyone has to breathe, so while the population is inhaling air, my government's inhaling money. Oh,
can you
God.
screen cap this? That's too fucking funny.
You, my friend, are a tyrant.
What?
Blimey, you're a tyrant at art, eh?
Love it.
I was looking at my phone with that.
A somewhat radical solution to a country's revenue problems, but sadly not an original one.
Really? No. You mean to say?
Surely not. You mean a tax on air has been imposed in the past?
It was last century. The finance minister of our neighbor, France, proposed it.
What? Or go for a visit. I'm holding my breath.
Unsurprisingly, it was strongly opposed by the public and soon scrapped. The minister didn't last long either. He ran out of air.
Also, how do you keep track of how much air people are breathing?
Oh dear. Although, clearly that would have been an untenable situation.
Public at large are forced to be reckoned with.
They sure are.
Don't I know it?
How about you, Inspector? What new tax would you impose?
Let me see. My first thought is tax on objections. Complaint tax. There you go.
Yeah.
Tax on complaining.
Gotta drop a $5 in the jar.
But like, not like a governmental tax on complaining. Just like every time you complain to somebody, you have to pay them $5.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a threepenny, good sir.
Yeah, $5 per complaint, and therefore everyone who works at a retail store is fucking rich. Sorry. Been aired far too many of them recently in court. There's a particular lawyer I have in mind as it happens. Fantiques, right? I think an objection tax could be very handy.
Love it.
Good to see you don't allow your personal feuds to influence your work in public office.
I love the look he has, like, I'm so over everything.
Reckon 5 pence. Yeah, $5!
Fuck yeah!
$5 for every objection raised! Gregson and I are on the same fucking page.
A most amusing proposal, Gregson.
Most amusing proposal.
Most
The
unamusing.
most unamusing proposal, my lord. Sorry, the
Yes.
arm of the mic was in the way.
Talk about taxes some more, everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about taxes.
Well then, I think it's your turn now.
Sorry, my turn for what?
Find my book. Why, what else? To locate my missing copy of The Lion's Pride.
Oh,
It's on one of the shelves in this room. Of that, I am certain. Now, I shall give you 10 minutes.
it's 5 more minutes you gave Gregson.
And let's stake your student stipend on it. Fail to find the book, and you forfeit next month's payment.
Objection!
He twied. Your time starts now. Oh, and one more thing.
5 pence for the objection.
I believe you just said the word objection.
Ugh.
Kindly leave your 5 pence over there before you begin combing the shelves.
Son of a bitch. This tax is gonna be the death of me.
Oh my god. Oh, that was truly great.
Very cute.
I love this. I love this.
Despite the fact that he turns out to be extremely evil.
He's a joy.
Yeah,
He's fucking funny.
He's fucking funny.
All right, next
Ooh,
time.
we get to go to Sholmes' suite.
Oh boy. This is in March.
Good morning, Iris. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, morning, Susie. I'll get breakfast on the table for us all.
Mr. Sholmes, morning.
Come now, why the long face?
Oh, sorry. The thing is,
Are you being taxed for your objections
I
again?
just had a rather strange envelope posted under my door this morning. Some rather strange things inside.
Oh boy.
Condoms.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
What strange things?
Things that you shouldn't see as a minor.
Ooh, what was it, Bruno? Do I catch the scent of mystery in the air?
You're also a minor. Nothing so excited, I'm afraid, Iris. There's just 5 orange pips.
Eh?
Can't imagine what it could possibly...
What? Orange pips, Mr. Naruhodo? And 5 of them?
What are orange pips?
What are orange pips?
Yep.
What's the matter with you? It's a bit of an overreaction, isn't it?
An overreaction, Mr. Naruhodo. You don't understand. No, she's gonna explain it. Let's find it from Susato. It's a warning. A notice of imminent danger to your life.
Okay. What? To my life? What's the meaning of all this, Mr. Sholmes? She's explaining what it means, but I don't know what orange pips are. Oh, it's a short story. It's a Sherlock Holmes story.
Oh.
Oh, pip is a British word for seed. They're orange seeds.
Okay.
I got it.
My dear fellow, why do you make such an inquiry of me?
Because the name of the center was written on the envelope and it was yours.
Mr. Sholmes, are you trying to kill your rental? You're right, Bruno. It says sent by Sholmes, envoy of hell. I just meant the Supreme Court Justice, you see. Well, my little ploy has been exposed. Well, so be it. Cast your mind back, if you will, Mr. Naruhodo, to the time of our dining last night. Nope, the dining, not the part after. There are minors in the room.
Yes, Susato cooked Japanese food for us.
Yes, and we ate it and then retired to separate beds, didn't we, my dear fellow?
Yes,
Very separate.
Very separate beds. Although I am respectfully looking at that at that waistcoat.
Mm-hmm. In particular, you may recall the final norimaki sushi roll that I was about to savor, which you then took from me.
Ah! Yes!
I fucking stole it!
That is before you swooped in with your clacking chopsticks and filched it from under my nose!
Oh, I assumed because you'd left it that you didn't want it.
Nice. I'd left it, my dear fellow, because I'd planned to enjoy it as my very last mouthful. You denied me that, therefore I shall murder you. Surely you must have noted my intent by the subtle dilation of my right pupil.
Such a crazy fucker, Mr. Sholmes.
Perhaps a clearer sign would have been helpful next time. Just an idea.
In summary, the post you received earlier is a notice of impending revenge. You should be quaking in your boots. What shall I steal from you?
Really? Because I went straight out to the garden and planted them. I was hopefully made grow some exotic fruit.
Oh, he got an envelope of seeds, and he immediately went and planted them.
That's really cute.
Ryukun, you're too pure for this world. There's no point sending a notice of impending revenge if the person you send it to doesn't know what it is. Well, I knew, of course, because I read this book. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. On sale now in all major London bookshops and receiving rave reviews. 6 out of 5 stars.
Oh, yes, of course. It's finally been published, hasn't it? I hear it's selling very well.
It is. 12 short stories in 1 volume. I've earned a lifetime spending money already.
Just you wait till you have to pay rent, kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
And it has further bolstered my name. In fact, only the other day, a Bohemian king sought to engage my services.
Really? That's extraordinary.
Of course, the gentleman persisted with some pretense about being a fishmonger for the duration. But only a fool would presume to be able to deceive my eyes with such a charade.
So how did you know that he was a king then?
Why, there's no mystery, my dear fellow. A distinct smell of fish accompanied the man's lowly apparel. Though he tried to hide it, the left side of his moustache quivered in a quite manifest manner. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, that's simply brilliant.
It's certainly something.
Brilliant. You're so clever. Having neatly resolved the case for the man, I was sent a quantity of fresh cod as a mark of his appreciation.
I think perhaps you shouldn't discount the possibility that he actually was a fishmonger.
Tell him, Ryukun. He planted the seeds in the garden.
Is that? Can anyone else smell burning?
Oh, yes, you're right. And look, smoke.
Uh-oh.
I think maybe...
Uh-oh.
Fire! Fire! There's a fire, everyone!
Really? A fire?
We all must leave at once. Everyone out of the building.
No, wait. I have to go back to my room first.
Are you deranged? If you're not asphyxiated by the smoke, the flames will burn you to death, my dear fellow.
But my Dodoma doll! I can't let my Dodoma burn. It means too much.
Oh, it's to save his Dodoma.
Sorry, but I'm gonna make a dash for it upstairs.
No, Ryukun.
Oh, Runo, you're so funny.
There's no time for jokes, Iris. Go, quickly, get out of here.
But there is no fire. Is there, Hurley?
Huh?
There's literally a fire behind all of us, but what a delight to see that ploy enacted in the flesh. I wouldn't have dared to dream I should be so lucky.
Susato-san!
Sorry, it's bullying Mr. Naruhodo Day.
Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. Indeed it was a ploy. A devilment engineered by my puckish spirit.
It was all a trick, but why?
It is a simple experiment of the mind, Mr. Naruhodo. When his life is threatened, a fellow is compelled instinctively to protect that property to which he attaches matching importance.
And after your own life, Runo, the most important thing to you seems to be your Dharma doll. But that's probably because you've got your badge and your sword on you.
Yeah, it's on my person, so...
So whoever that is that you've been mourning all this time, you've probably already taken care of that.
Right. Let's not dwell on that, shall we, Iris?
Just you talk about it all the time, how sad you are.
So you knew all along, Susato-san, that it was a trick?
Yes, of course. The very ploy is described in this book. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. On sale now in all major London bookshops and receiving rave reviews. I'm getting paid for this.
Not again.
It all goes to our rent.
Right.
I've used that device.
She's sponsored.
Seriously.
Hashtag sponsored.
Quite satisfactorily in the past to solve a case.
We are not sponsored, though.
No. We're sponsored by us.
We're sponsored by you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for sponsoring us. Oh yes, it was a great success, wasn't it? But then it became something of a habit, didn't it? You started yelling fire at every crime scene. In the end, people started to pay no attention to you at all. The boy who cried fire.
Yes, that's true. No one paid attention to me. There was a time when I was known as the Sholmes who cried wolf. Awoo!
I think there's a lesson to be learned from there somewhere.
But sadly, my little ploy failed to yield results this time. Iris was utterly unmoved.
What do you mean?
Well, I was anticipating that Iris would immediately expose her secret hiding place. The location of the nest egg she must have cached somewhere in this room. Ugh. Sneaky.
Nest egg? You think Iris has some secret savings?
Why, naturally! The book is selling like hotcakes after all.
It's all going to rent, Hurley.
It's a simple deduction indeed to conclude that the profits must be concealed here within these walls.
It's in a bank.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes. Are you in need of money? Ah, I bet I know what it is. It's that new microscope that's gone on sale, isn't it, Hurley?
What else? I have such a strong desire to own one, yet my purse is £1 too light. Give me your money, child. And as no offer of a loan has been forthcoming, I have been forced to resort to an alternative stratagem.
Stealing.
Hurley, I'm not going to lend you any more money. We talked about this. Not falling for that, not coming from the Sholmes who cried wolf. Not to mention, we all know you can't be trusted with a single threepenny.
How vexing!
You really shouldn't be trying to steal a 10-year-old's savings, you know.
My book is full of little tricks like that, you see? The armory of the great detective.
Except that in this case, both the orange pip and the fake fire fell a little flat, didn't they?
Oh, I have plenty more tricks up my sleeve. Just you wait till I get you on the chaise. Take, for example, the case of the Boscombe Valley Mystery.
I'm already filled with dread just from the title.
It is a tale of extraordinary skill on the part of the great detective. The skill of tracking.
Tracking?
When I arrived at the scene of the crime in the eponymous valley, there were footprints everywhere. But my eye was immediately drawn to one set in particular.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, your detective instincts are truly remarkable. As you know, my dear madam, no detail, no matter how small, escapes the scrutiny of these eyes. So I tracked my quarry, following the trail of his footprints all the way to the man's place of residence. It's a doghouse.
It led you directly to the culprit's house? What a triumph.
It led me to the zoo. You misunderstand. It led me directly to my own house, my dear fellow.
Huh?
Well, the footprints were, in the final analysis, those made by my own shoes. Harley had left here for Boscombe Valley as soon as he received the telegram about the case, you see. And then he followed his own trail straight back here to Baker Street.
Oh, Hurley.
Now, Iris, please, you make it sound almost humdrum, but I assure you, it is no easy feat. Tracking of this nature is a skill possessed only by the great Herlock Sholmes!
You're right. It really is extraordinary.
Quite so. Extraordinary is the word. And let it be the last on the subject. Everyone, the last word.
Extraordinarily fucking stupid.
Nope, just extraordinary.
Sure.
Just extraordinary. That's all we're going to say. Needless to say, I subsequently went on to solve the case with various other deductions.
Yes, it's the various other deductions that I'm interested in.
As you see, chasing my own tail did not hold me back one bit. Well, you shall have to read the book then. That'll be a threepenny. And 5 shillings. Also 50 pounds. I'm sure
No.
Iris has...
No.
But...
I'm buying it from Iris, not you, and she'll give me a friends and family discount, right, Iris?
Just for you,
Thank you.
Bruno. You get the friends and family discount.
She gave me the friends and family discount.
Well, what about me? What if I want to buy a book? No. You get charged 10 times, Sally, because you stole my savings again to buy a fucking microscope. I'm sure
What's
Iris
your
has-
language, Iris?
What's your language, Iris? Language, Iris. Watch it.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you have penned it with your usual flourish. Oh, absolutely. I put an ingenious spin on the great detective exploits. Namely, I said that Hurley actually did things.
Must have been very ingenious to make this man sound even remotely credible as a detective.
I made it sound as though he actually resolved anything ever. In fact, what he did was telegram his old partner to get advice on what the hell to do. Pardon my language. Wait, is that... Does it smell like something's burning again?
We've had enough devilment for one day, Mr. Sholmes. Put your puckish spirit to bed.
I assure you, this has nothing to do with me or my spirit.
What?
Oh no, the smoke is getting thicker.
You mean it's not a trick this time? There really isn't?
Fire! Fire! There's a fire, everyone! Fire! Ah!
Susato, where are you going?
Oh no. Stand aside, Mr. Naruhodo!
Easy, Mr. Sholmes, what are you?
I'll fight fire with my fists, you see? Smash!
Mr. Sholmes! I just chucked that bust of Napoleon on the floor.
Oh.
Oh, look at that, amongst all the broken porcelain.
Oh.
Coins, sovereigns, in fact, worth a whole pound each.
Come, everyone, we must leave at once. Evacuate the building! You fell for it, Hurley. Hook, line, and sinker. Ah.
Wait, you mean Iris?
I certainly wouldn't have guessed that's where you'd hidden it. Do you mean to say that this smoke was... My own puckish spirit needs to come out and play sometimes too, you know.
What?
Of course! I know what it is. You were raised by an idiot. It's that indoor herb garden set that went on sale last week, isn't it? That's what you're after. I want one so desperately, but I'm £4 short. And even though you told me you didn't have any money to spare before, I knew you had a secret nest egg somewhere in this room.
Ah! You've outwitted me again! We're just going to steal from each other for the rest of our lives.
You really shouldn't let yourself get outwitted by a 10-year-old, you know.
So, thank you for the loan, Hurley. Oh, but wait,
What's the matter?
where's Susie? She's disappeared.
Oh, yes, that's right. She ran off upstairs before, didn't she?
What is she going to bring other than her book?
Oh, what are you all still doing in here? We have to evacuate. It won't be long before the fire is... Ah! Sorry, Susie. Children will get up to mischief once in a while, you know, but it's all perfectly harmless.
Harmless, maybe, but oh so devious.
So devious. What did she get?
What did she take? Oh, well, at least nobody was hurt. This is my sense of safety.
Pot from Napoleon and my secret hoard. Now tell us, Miss Susato, what is it that you went so fleet-footedly to fetch?
Sorry? Oh, no, nothing. This is just, definitely not a picture of Dei-chan. Not a heart locket with her in it that, Susie, it's just so precious to me. I don't want to risk taking it. Oh, that's so cute. That's your notebook detailing all of Bruno's trials, isn't it? It's bulging at the seams.
Aww. Oh, Wolfie. Happy birthday.
Aww.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday.
Aww.
Would you like a notebook detailing all of Runo's trials?
Yeah.
It's bulging at the seams.
That's really cute.
Aw.
My other thought is what she was gonna go grab. And I thought maybe she was gonna go grab Nyakun's Dharma doll.
Oh, that'd be really sweet. Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be really sweet.
I think that would be really cute. Be like, you said that you wanted to save this. And
Yeah, that would be very Susato.
That would've
This
been-
is more practical Susato.
this
though.
is practical Susato.
She's like,
the
this
other one
is-
is thoughtful
yeah.
Susato,
Mhm.
and they're both
She would've
Susato.
tried to
It's
do
just
both. Yeah.
I mean, if the Dharma doll were smaller, she probably would have taken both.
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Ah, a testament to the various people you've helped over the past months.
Susato-san,
Aww.
Well, I am your judicial assistant after all. I would do anything to ensure the safety of these records, even risk my life if necessary. I mean, it's very important to me. It's like a diary of everything we've achieved together.
Susato, that's so sweet.
Aww.
I'm getting all teary-eyed now.
Yes, in stark contrast to a certain someone who would have fetched his Dharma doll, I must say.
Shut up.
Ugh.
Fuck off, Mr. Sholmes.
fuck off with that.
You chose money.
Yeah, You didn't choose your daughter, you know. You
Yeah.
could've picked up Iris and run out of there.
Right. You chose money. I chose my superstition.
Happy
And
birthday
Susato?
again, Wolfie. Extra happy birthday.
Susato chose very sweet.
She chose a very sweet book. Okay, don't tell me what the next case is. Let's just go into it. I'm going
Okay.
to close my eyes.
I feel like Cosmo would just pick up Ryukun.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting out of here. Because I'm already carrying Karuma. It's the soul of the Asogi clan.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. It's. There's the Dharma doll. He would
The Dharma doll!
He would absolutely risk his life
He
for.
would risk his life for that doll. It was cute. No.
Hello. I'm back.
Oh.
I'm,
Okaeri nasai. Mr. Naruhodo, did you have a good outing? Bruno! What's the matter? Your eyes are as big as dinner plates.
You see, there are these huge orange trees outside.
Those seeds grow really fast.
Iris, I wasn't expecting you to see you here.
I've just made some tea, Naruhodo-san. Would you like a cup?
A cup or two, yes. Definite tea. Are you high? Did you eat brownies? Are you okay?
Are you trying to pretend you weren't just fucking Sholmes on the shiz? What's going on here?
What is going on here?
All right, Bruno, what's going on? You're acting extremely strangely.
What? Me? No, not at all.
There's no one in the wardrobe.
I'm as normal as normal could be. Normality itself, see?
What did you do to my tea? Did you pee in my tea?
Not again,
Mr. Naruhodo?
I really had to go.
Sorry? Not what again? What do you mean, Sissy? Whenever he goes out on his own lately, he always seems to come back with a peculiar new purchase.
Oh, peculiar? Peculiar? What's so peculiar about the things I bought? Come on.
You seem to think that anything British is a curio you simply must have. You keep buying items of bric-a-brac even though you don't know what they are.
This is adorable.
Well, there are rather a lot of bric-a-brac shops and pawnbrokeries and the like around here.
That's when I've been to Lord Strongheart's to give my weekly report. I'm always so nervous beforehand.
Oh.
On the way home, I find myself in those shops and... Yes, alright, I can't deny it, I bought something.
He relieves his stress through shopping. So hashtag relatable.
He's retail therapy, yeah.
You're right, you can't deny it, because your eyes are wider than ever. You really ought to put up a warning sign about them. They're bigger than some potholes around here.
It's hard to resist things in the bric-a-brac shop. It's also cheap.
Aw, it was so cute.
Mr. Sholmes has given me a lot of useful advice about how to pick out the real bargains.
You must remember, Bruno, that Harry likes to have fun with you. Take his advice with a big pinch of salt. The entire shaker, actually.
Well, that's true. That thing that he told me was a pot stand wasn't actually a pot stand at all.
It was a pot stand.
It was a bong. But I'd never have guessed it was a collapsible top hat.
Oh my god. He was trying to grow plants in a top hat.
No, and I never have guessed that you could fill up this once empty room so quickly. Honestly, it's overflowing with things we don't need now, you hoarder.
I like things.
I mean, look at those scales. Not once have you weighed something on them, but they're justice!
Thank you, Tisha.
They're the scales of justice.
Mm-hmm.
You can't diss justice.
They're symbolic, Susato! I know, but ever since I first stood at the defense suspension in court, I don't know why, but I just really wanted my own little set of scales. I want some fucking scales! Susato, get off my dick!
Just a little set of scales, Susato.
How about you get off my dick about it, Susato? I just want some fucking symbolic scales!
Scales, okay?
Susato?
Let's see it then, Mr. Naruhodo. What have you come home with today?
Oh, well, it's, one of these.
What did you get? What did you get? What is it? It looks all dry and shriveled up in a ball. What did you get? Really, Mr.
Weed.
Naruhodo? What is it? What is it though?
Some guy approached me in an alleyway and was like, "Hey, you want some?" And I was like, "Sure."
He says
What
something
is
about
it, tea?
420?
Yeah.
It wasn't even that time of the
We
afternoon
can make
yet.
tea with it, right, Susato?
I don't think with those kinds of leaves.
It's a sea anemone. Oh!
not weed. Oh. Somewhere Cosmo's twitching. I can do this.
Yes, I mean, I know it doesn't look like it at the moment. It's all shriveled up, like you said.
Aren't sea anemones living creatures? The ones that dance about on the seabed.
Yes, exactly. The ones that dance about on the seabed.
Oh, they sell sea anemones in bric-a-brac shops here in Britain. Really?
I don't know whether they normally do or not, but I do know that I bought one today.
But why? but why, Runo? Why?
Well, yes, for the aquarium, of course.
Aquarium. I don't know that word.
Oh, wow.
So where the Susato doesn't know.
Learn from
Well,
Nick.
according to the shopkeeper,
Oh.
keeping sea creatures in tanks was hugely popular here in London before.
Oh yes, some people have some beautiful fish in seawater tanks, it's true. Having an aquarium became popular because the old glass tax was abolished. Gotta tax
the
everything.
fucking tax.
There it is again, rearing its ugly head, the subject of taxation. Feels almost like Star Wars in here. It was a real craze for a while. Everyone in London had one. For a while? Was this like rabbits? It didn't last long. People's enthusiasm soon waned. It's just far too much work to be changing the seawater regularly in a city like London. Never a truer word said, I'm sure.
You'd think people might have realized from the start, really, wouldn't you?
Anyway, that was long before I was born. So now everyone jokes that there's an unloved aquarium covered in dust in every attic in the capital. There must be aquariums covered in dust at Van Zeeks' house.
And it's true, there's one in this attic, too. When I told the man in the bric-a-brac shop about it, he had these words of wisdom. That's why this is the age of the sea anemone, and then that made a lot of sense to me.
I just want to hug him. He's just so cute. He brought home a sea anemone because he was stressed out about Lord Strongheart.
It made sense to you, did it? But Runo, this anemone is completely dried up.
We just need to soak it in water overnight. It'll be as good as new. That's what the man said.
Aww.
I'm not sure that it works in the same way as dried wakame seaweed, Mr. Naruhodo.
Once I've saved some money, I'm gonna buy some prawns to keep this little fellow company.
Prawns?
From the prawn broker.
From the prawn broker.
Oh, how exciting! Your office will be teeming with life. Will it really? Does that mean I have to take care of it?
Britain is a funny country, though. I mean, a sea anemone craze?
Well, they say people in glass houses about comments like that here, Naruhodo-san. Don't forget that there was a very curious rabbit craze in our own country not so long ago.
A mortifying chapter that people will try to erase from the history books 100 years from now, I'm sure.
You know, there was another craze as well before the aquarium one. Have you heard of Wardian cases?
No. Where do you what? No, I've definitely never heard of them. Thank you, Tisha. Also, we're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
We moved all week, so it was very exhausting.
They were little glazed cases for growing plants indoors, I believe.
Oh, I see. For plant lovers to raise their favorite tropical plants.
That's right, like different types of ferns.
Ferns?
Do you mean those rather dull plants with lots of fronds for leaves? They're not dull at all. Ferns are lovely plants. I think people wanted to recreate the exotic foliage of the tropics in their own homes.
So they grew ferns? I mean, ferns, sea anemones, wonders. Certainly have a knack for the obscure.
Well, thinking about it, my grandfather loved the moss on his bonsai. He looked after it better than the trees.
Seems like the more obscure something is, the more it interests people.
Maybe. Anyway, the Wardian case craze didn't last very long. Now, most of those little glass cases are just gathering dust, I think. The little Wardian cases. But haven't I seen one in your room, Iris? Ooh, very observant of you, Susie. Yes, that's right. Mine's certainly not gathering dust, though. I grow tropical herbs in it. Ha ha ha. Well, Naruhodo-san, I really must ask you to stop all this frivolous buying of strange things. We only have one stipend. One stipend!
Yes, alright, sorry. It's just well, think about Mr. Sholmes' room.
Yes, it's an absolute disaster.
He has all sorts of peculiar trinkets lying around.
Aww. Oh, well, yes, that's true. And they seem to be growing in number. Recently, I've noted a blow type, a blow. There's a pipe, okay? I saw a pipe. A few beryl crystals set in a twisted piece of gold. A gold-rimmed...
What? What? A what?
Okay.
Pins,
A what?
Pins,
A what?
pins,
A what?
pins.
A
what?
A what? A pin.
Google.
A pin.
A pin.
A pin. A pins. A pins. A pins. Nez. Oh, it's a style of glasses popular in the late 19th and 8th that are supported without. Yes, they're the what? Pince-nez? Pince-nez is it French? Pince-nez.
Probably.
They're supported without earpieces by pinching the bridge of the nose.
That is the worst. I hate just the idea of it.
Yeah, sounds terrible. That sounds awful. They look awful too.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
They look really bad. Anyway,
Moving right along.
I spotted a small gramophone record on the in there the other day, so I slipped it onto the gramophone.
Uh-huh.
It was just a whispery voice saying, Norbury, and nothing more.
What are you into, Mr. Sholmes? Don't tell me I'm a minor.
What could it possibly be about?
Those are all mementos of cases that Halley solved over the years.
Exactly. That's what I want to create here. Just that sort of atmosphere.
So cute.
Ah, a room full of meaningful trinkets, each with their own unique history, you mean?
Yes, that. I knew you'd understand, Miss Sato.
But, Mr. Naruhodo, none of the things you've bought for the room have any connection with any of our cases.
Oh, don't they?
Aww. Well, for example, take that splendid but rather weather-beaten top hat. That wasn't used as evidence in any of the cases we worked on, was it? Oh, so you have two top hats if you count the collapsible one as well. Oh, that's so cute.
No, the collapsible one is a pot stand, as far as I'm concerned, anyway.
Aww. Here's a piece of plant in a pot. Of a hat. Oh.
But the other day when we were in court, they were everywhere, weren't they?
The top hats. Aww. Yeah.
Ah, top hats, I mean.
Aww. They were. Well, here in Britain, of course, they're the mark of a true gentleman, so that's hardly surprising. A man isn't wearing a top hat when he ventures out of doors, he'll be looked down upon. Cosmo and Duke are gonna need to get top hats. Gosh, it has very strict rules, doesn't it? The English gentleman's code.
I've been wondering how I'd look in a top hat recently.
Aww.
After all, my university uniform is black as well, so I think it would look very in keeping.
His English top hat and his Japanese university uniform.
Oh, what a good idea. Go on then, Bruno. Try it on.
I think he'd look cute in a top hat.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's
I
see
wanna
it.
see it.
Show us. Show us.
Lesson here, I suppose, is that the juxtaposition of student and gentleman is just so strange and wrong.
Well, if you put me in a suit, well, I'd rather it didn't suit me anyway. I mean, these hats are ridiculous. You're willing to bet every foreigner who sees one of these for the first time will think exactly the same thing. Why is that man wearing a chimney on his head?
That's so cute.
People in glass houses, remember, Bruno? People in glass houses.
What do you mean?
Well, what about Japanese chonmage top knots? Those haircuts are the height of ridiculousness.
Ugh. True.
At least you can take a hat off. Once you have a chonmage, chon your head for good. See what I did there? I'd be willing to bet every foreigner who sees a chonmage for the first time thinks exactly the same thing. Why is that man wearing a cannon on his head? I suppose that's what it means to have different cultures, isn't it?
Cute.
On the subject of hats,
On the subject of hats.
the one Mr. Sholmes wears is really very strange, don't you think?
I beg your pardon, Mr. Naruhodo? What a thing to say!
I think it looks fucking stupid.
That hat is the very essence of Mr. Sholmes. You should definitely say something about it right in front of his face so I can watch.
Hey, Mr. Sholmes, your hat is stupid!
What was that, my dear fellow?
Without his deerstalker, the great detective would be unrecognizable.
It's called a deer stalker? It's a surprisingly swanky name. He stalks me more than deers.
It's the hat of a hunter, just like the flat cap. I made up my mind long ago to visit Regent Street and buy one for myself.
Susato!
Ooh, and a deer stalker?
I want to see this.
Or a flat cap?
I want to see her in a cap and I want to see him in a top hat. We know that she looks very cute as Gyutaro in it.
Sure, it's gonna fit over your hair.
Well, I think it's perfect for a great detective who stalks his criminal quarry. What do you think is strange about it anyway?
Well, you've seen it. It looks fucking stupid. It's two brims, one in the front and one at the back. Why do you need two brims on a hat? Surely one at the front is enough, no?
One moment, please. Allow me to school you.
Yes, me. It's just Mr. Sholmes' madcap personality coming through. I bet it's so that he doesn't have to think about which way to put it on or something like that.
I love it. I love it.
Mr. Sholmes does not have a madcap personality. He always has a clear head. He's listening from the stairs, so...
He always has a clear head, which means it's totally empty all the time.
Empty of poor deductions. It's just full of brilliance. Deer stalkers were made for hunters who had to hide in thickets when they were stalking their prey. The brim at the back was designed to stop the stalks of plants scratching the backs of their necks. Oh, so that's the reason. Thank you, Iris, for educating us.
Mr. Sholmes doesn't spend a lot of time in thickets, though, does he?
Well, no, that's true.
I'm telling you, it's just his impetuous personality. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it firmly.
I love it. He's like, his hat is dumb. Yes! Ah! Here you all are!
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Sholmes. We were just talking about how fucking stupid your hat is.
I overheard you from the stairs, and I thought that you would at least do me the courtesy of not saying it to my face, but I see how it is, my dear fellow.
I've not long since made some tea, Mr. Sholmes. Would you like a cup?
Yes, but hold the tea.
I see I've come at a good time, Miss Susato.
I will eat the cup whole.
Now, I have something I should like you all to see. A new hat! I've designed myself a brand new Great Detective's hat. It's going to be a top hat with an extra brim.
What the? There's a brim.
At the front, and at the back, and at both sides. 4 brims in total. It's all brim, full of brim and vigor. Your observation is quite correct, my dear madam. I'm a busy man, you see. But with this hat, whichever way I put it on, I shall always have it pointing the correct way. Oh, okay. You really are just that dumb. With my previous hat, I could, in an impetuous moment, wear it erroneously with the brims on either side.
That's impressively clumsy, I would say.
And I must regretfully say I think your madcap theory was correct after all.
Yeah! I was correct in saying your hat's fucking stupid, Mr. Sholmes.
Here we were trying to spare your feelings, Mr. Sholmes, but you walked right into this.
But really, Mr. Sholmes, with brims on all 4 sides like that, wouldn't it just be better to wear a top hat instead?
Oh, yes, then however you put it on, you'd have a brim all around. What? So true, so true! How could I have been so blinkered to this fact until now?
Well, fortunately, I happen to have 2 top hats here.
Whoop! Give him a top hat.
You just lift the pot off it. You're welcome to try that one there.
Very well, I shall try. Why is there dirt in this hat? I shall, my good fellow, much obliged. Top hat, top hat, top hat.
Let me see it.
Come on. Ah. Sigh. Oh dear, Hallie, it looks terrible. More terrible than I could possibly have imagined.
Oh, that's not good. Maybe it's because of your long face paired with the tall hat. It just doesn't seem to work.
Well, I think it's very nice, Mr. Sholmes, even if it will have the whole world in fits of laughter. Ah! I should never have meddled with it. Give me a deer stalker forevermore.
And give me my regulation university hat forevermore.
You look really fucking cute in that hat, Ryukun.
You look so cute.
There's still hope that you'll graduate one day, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't give up.
There's still hope that you'll graduate.
I mean, I took a year-long vacation. Hopefully they let me graduate when I get back.
That was adorable. Aww. It's adorable.
Okie dokie.
So cute, so cute. Oh boy, okay.
I want there to be so many more of these. I want a million of them. I want a million of them.
A million.
A million.
So, Mr. Natsume, are you really returning home to Japan?
Yes, indeed I am. Everything is arranged already.
It would be sad to see you go. And after Runo worked so hard to prove your innocence as well. What a shame. Feels like it was all a wasted effort.
Don't say that! I know what you're suggesting.
Oh, calm down, Mr. Natsume. It's all fine, really.
You are in good company here, sir. You fear the Reaper. You needn't hide the fact.
You could say, don't fear the Reaper.
I am a proud citizen of the Empire of Japan. I'm not a scaredy cat.
You're a little bit of a scaredy cat. Talking of cats, Mr. Sholm just casually threw one among the pigeons there.
Threw a cat? A man like me belongs in Japan, not here. That's what I've come to realize.
I wonder. A moustache such as yours is eminently suited to London, I would say.
There goes Mr. Sholm throwing another cat in. I think he's metaphorically.
Yeah. moment I arrived in the city, I noticed. Everyone in London laughs at me behind my back, like hyenas. Hysterical hyenas hawing horribly.
Oh dear, we're back in the times when you had carbon monoxide poisoning.
Right.
I'm sure that's not true, Natsume-san.
Oh, but it is. Whenever I turn around and peer down the fog-filled streets, all I see is foreigners everywhere.
Well, there's you, Bruno, and Susie in here, so that's 3 foreigners out of 5 people. I take your point.
Only the other day, I was taking a stroll through the fog as usual, when a young man approached me from ahead. He was pale and gaunt, his back arched like a cat. Observing his wretchedness moved me so deeply. Ah, I thought to myself, I'm not the only one suffering in this hell! But, do you know what? Can you imagine?
It was a mirror.
Oh boy. It was just my own reflection in a shop window! A stunning, stinging, stupefying surprise!
Don't forget slap in the face.
Everyone started laughing at me. Gentlemen thereabouts, ladies passing by, even the man in the shop window. I overheard him say, "That man looks like he has carbon monoxide poisoning."
Ah, yes, and a certain great detective would like to be included among the mirthful. Ha ha! I was laughing at you. Ah!
British Holmes really is going for Saseki-san today.
Well, I, for one, think you're a very handsome man, Natsume-san.
Aw. Thanks, Iris. There, did you hear that? This 10-year-old girl thinks you're handsome. Isn't that wonderful?
If I say no, that makes me feel suspicious.
No! Wait! No! Go home, Saseki, bye! He looks genuinely delighted.
That was I do not like that line.
No!
But as we Japanese are humble and modest, studying on foreign soil, surrounded by foreign people, how can anyone possibly enjoy that? No one could! It's impossible! You're genuine Japanese!
If you say so. Actually, it would appear that there is someone. A Japanese man who studied in a foreign country and seems to have thrived on the experience.
Me!
Da-da-da.
There is?
Me!
It's Kazuma-sama. I mean, Mr. Ogai Mori. I believe he studied in Germany.
Mr. Mori, pray tell us more of the fellow.
Well, today, he's a very successful author in Japan.
Oh, I've heard of him. He's the professor who wrote My Hime, isn't he?
My Hime?
I suppose in English the title would be Dancing Queen! Ah! It's us!
Ah!
It's us! What?
Oh! Hime is princess, and now I see it's my like odoru, like dancing. Okay. Oh,
That's cute.
Dancing Queen.
We're in this game, baby.
We're in this game! Yay! Oh, adorable.
That's the cutest.
It's us.
It's us.
You screen capped this, right?
Yeah, of course I did.
We're in the game. We're in the game.
Oh, I see. A tale of a woman who waltzed her way through the world, perhaps.
Hi, Siva.
Hi, Ziva. We're in the game.
We're in the game.
Go to the history. We're in the game.
We're in the
Look at us. We're in the game.
It's Dancing Queen.
We're in the game.
You really needn't make up a silly translation, you know. It's already officially called The Dancing Girl in English. It seems Mr. Mori greatly enjoyed his time in Germany. He became close with a local lady while he was there.
Oh, is that so,
Very
Mr. Mori?
close.
I'm getting close to the local too, if you know what I mean, Susato Wing.
Iris is still here.
Right.
What? I don't know anything about you and my daddy.
I was talking about another. Never mind.
With a local lady? A compatriot's criminally contradictory conduct.
Well, I suppose your experience of studying abroad depends to a large extent on your character.
Ouch.
Boy, you take a rest, Ziva. Have a rest. Hydrate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Have a relax.
As they say, many men, many minds. Many men,
I agree with the many men part.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Mori has an open mind. Mr. Natsume a closed one.
Possibly a slightly black and white view, do you think, Mr. Sholmes?
Well, anyway. If that's how you feel about being abroad, why did you choose to study here?
Wasn't it to further our nation's understanding of the English language or something?
Yes, that's right.
So what were you doing in Japan before you came to Great Britain, then?
I was a school teacher. Of English, of course.
A bit cursory, perhaps. But I managed to discover some information about Mr. Natsume's teaching days.
That's just a little outside of the field of law, isn't it, Susato-san?
My book has everything in it. Let me pose you a question, Naruhodo-san. If you had to translate the English phrase, I love you, into Japanese, what would it become?
She's asking for a
That's
friend.
easy. Aishiteru, or
Skides.
Oh, no. Oh.
Wrong! According to Mr. Natsume's teachings, at least.
Heh? Heh?
Heh?
Heh?
Would you like to explain, Mr. Natsume?
Yes, of course. Your research was very thorough. I always used to tell my students that we Japanese don't express ourselves that way. Rather, we might say, "Ski ga kirei desu ne." Ah, the moon is so beautiful.
What? Why?
It's indirect.
Oh, I see.
He, ah, soft hug.
I love cozy cardigans. You have your big conf.
I do have a big conf.
So we actually have a, like, right on the street below us is like a sweater and cardigan shop.
It's a conf shop.
It's a shop of comfs. Lots of very comfy
Pretty great.
sweaters and like shawls and
we've determined
knits.
basically every day of the year they're doing a $25 blowout sale.
Right. And so you can just go in there and buy like a sweater for $25, $35, and they're all very, very pretty.
Very, very nice comps.
They're very pretty, and we're overdue to go and check the comp store.
Mm-hmm.
We've only really been there like a few times, like 3 or 4 times.
We have some comps to buy.
We're overdue. Anyway.
My dear Mr. Natsume, I must interject. No one is
You
paying
must shut
attention to
up.
me! Ski ga kirei desu ne would translate as the moon is beautiful, isn't it?
But since when did you know Japanese? I thought that you didn't know any Japanese. Ryukun, you told me he didn't know any Japanese.
He said he knew a smattering of Japanese.
Did he see my diary?
He did, but he only knows a smattering.
Apparently he knows what I would say to you. We're standing under the moon, gazing at it together, being
Right.
best friends. I know that!
The point is that we Japanese are reticent when it comes to expressing our emotions.
It's very true. Honestly, if you're a Japanese couple, you would say aishiteru very, 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 very rarely.
We prefer to show our feelings of adoration, our ski, by appreciating the beauty of the moon, the ski. Ah, using the ski to express ski. It's an amusing play on words, I see. No! Or in language you might understand better, bad Sholmes!
Bad Sholmes, bad dog.
Very bad. It's not a play on words, it's subtle, it's humble, it's fleeting and beautiful. It's art! Isn't it just being shy? You're just shy. Poke your cheek, you're shy. Ah, pokes all of Japan, you're just shy. My dear fellow, the foreign dancing queen will forever be out of your reach with such an attitude. Imagine how the great Mr. Moy would act. How he would get with a local lady. He would win the lady's heart in a flash with a well-placed and unrestrained, I love you. Ah, that smooth Mr. Mori! Am I destined to live in his shadow forever? Mori-san, curse you!
Just what sort of man is he in that imagination of yours?
The fact is, I just can't settle in this foggy London town with all its foreign inhabitants. I've lost count of the number of different lodgings I tried before I found myself here. I just want to pause and note that it just occurred to me how little outright heterosexuality there is in this game.
Very, like...
We've got the straights.
I think we have two, like... Maybe two visible straight couples and one implied straight couple. And that's it.
Yeah. This is a very...
Actually, there's another implied straight couple. And there's we assume that Kazuma had a mother. So
no, Kazuma did have a mother. We know that.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
It's just like
okay.
they're
Kazuma
very,
had parents.
Yeah.
Clint had a wife.
There aren't very many straights in Ace Attorney.
No, not many. As it happens, I even lived on Baker Street at one time. Really? No. Really? A Sao scholar lives near there. A man by the name of William James Craig. Bond. James Craig Bond. His knowledge of Sao is unsurpassed. He's been a great inspiration to me over the... Forgive the interruption, but... Am I supposed to be familiar with this Sao of which you speak? Also, you're not paying attention to me. Stop paying attention to me for 5 seconds. It's Shakespeare, of course, Shakespeare! But in Japanese, we write it as Sa and O. It's a phonetic representation using kanji characters. So, England is Igirisu and America is America.
Come to think of it, we use the same characters as D in the word Disu in another. Talk about confusing.
So Shakespeare is Sao in Japanese. Presumably the Sa is a brutal attempt at the first Sha, in which case where's the spear? I'd never thought of that. We only had the O left, not to mention Sha is an actual Japanese sound, Mr. Sholmes. Which could even in the most charitable interpretation only be a brutal attempt at old man. It seems to me that whoever had the job of deciding on the characters for his name got bored very early on. Complete kanji character catastrophe. Can you screen cap that for me? I kind of like want that forever.
We're gonna print this out and frame it on our wall.
I feel it all the time.
We actually do have that printer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You just made me realize what we could really do with
Yep.
the little photo printer. Oh my god. So then, on to the burning question. What about me? How do you write my name? I love you.
Wag,
Hurley.
wag, wag.
Wag, 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 wag. Pay attention to me.
Sorry?
Herlock Sholmes, my dear fellow. There must be Japanese characters for my name. Yes, I believe the character for idiot is involved. I mean, I am sorry, Mr. Sholmes, but none exist that I'm much aware of. What? Am I really nothing to you in Japanese? I mean, Japanese. Am I nothing to you, Japanese? In that case, it is a matter of paramount importance.
You must construct my name in kanji at once.
Oh, well, we could use the kanji that's pronounced so to start with, and use one word to give so, perhaps? That would be about right, Mr. Sholmes?
But that's almost the same as sow, isn't it?
Yes! You employed the dreaded O! I don't want people to confuse me with an old man who died centuries ago!
I'm sure the world's greatest literary figure would rather not be confused with you either.
A Sholmes by any other name would smell as sweet, my dear fellow.
Would be quite as annoying.
The world's greatest detective is still youthful and full of vigor, so how about so handsome? How about it? How about it? Aren't I?
We're gonna go with no.
Do you need me to take off my deerstalker and my jacket again?
No, not in his room.
That sounds wonderful. I'm sure everyone will be calling you that 100 years from now.
How would you say that with a straight face?
I did not, actually.
My face has always been one of a lesbian.
What about me then, Iris? Perhaps Hime, since the second character doesn't seem to matter. She's the Princess of Love. Hime? Oh yes, Princess of Love! That's an adorable name for you, Iris.
Stop, please! With a name like that, Mr. Mori is likely to turn up at any moment and rashly declare, I love you! I dream about it in my sleep, that Mr. Mori will show up.
Mori-san has become quite a character in Sasaki-san's mind.
He comes to me in the fog of night in my room full of carbon monoxide, and he holds me gently and says, the moon is beautiful. And you, Mr. Naruhodo, might I venture Kurobozu as a fitting name for you, as in the Dark Monk.
I have my own name, thank you.
Oh, that's very good. It describes you perfectly, Runo.
I think I'll be wearing this black varsity uniform for the rest of my days, do you?
Apparently, yes.
Also, I have my own name, you guys!
But Mr. Naruhodo
already... thank you, Susato!
He already has a Japanese name. I don't believe he needs another.
Thank you!
Well, anyway...
Yeah, my Japanese name is Ryunosuke. Thank you!
Mm-hmm. We were talking about your life here in London, weren't we, Mr. Natsume? You should just get out and have fun.
Go stripping.
Tear up the streets.
Right.
The landlady has said as much to me, too.
Mrs. Garrett?
Let's please never see her again. But it wasn't fun at all. It was frightful.
Whatever do you mean?
A cycle incident!
An incident? On a bicycle? Oh yes, come to think of it. The fucking bicycle. I thought it was gonna be evidence at one point, and it never was. There's an old bicycle parked just outside, isn't there? It's in a sorry state, though.
I tried to say no to her, but she insisted I took it for a ride. Perhaps my pronunciation was wrong. I said no. So I took my life in my hands and attempted to ride the steel spider-web stallion to a nearby park.
Thank you, Ziva.
Drink.
I really don't think there's anything wrong with your pronunciation, Natsume-san.
Joan Garrett just isn't the kind of woman to take no for an answer.
If you're going to die, you might as well die in beautiful surroundings, so the park was my first thought. After a whole day of dicing with death, I emerged with only relatively minor bruises.
So you got the knack of it?
Don't be silly. Dying isn't something you can learn to do.
Let's talk about riding the bike, but fine.
Mr. Natsume, you keep talking about dicing with death and dying and so forth, but riding a bicycle is It's supposed to be fun.
Oh no, that's just what people tell you, but it's an old wives' tale.
Is it?
I mean, just consider the real name of the vehicle. It's not called a dicycle for nothing.
It's called a bicycle. Only
Only
bisexuals
bis.
can ride it.
Obviously, you have such the hots for Mr. Mori that if you're also thinking about local ladies, you would qualify to ride the bicycle. How anyone expects to use such an aptly named vehicle to move forwards is beyond me. Pedal power promises pain. So you can only ride a tricycle if you're in a triad.
I didn't think it was possible to get worse with practice.
Screen cap this.
And all the straights can only ride unicycles.
Yes. I'm lucky to be alive. Although, I must say, after looking death in the eye for a whole week, I did at least manage to mount the steed reliably. And notwithstanding a few wobbles, I found I could make progress in the forward direction. I just suddenly I want it.
What a triumph.
Wait, can you go to the history? Can you please read this as for Albert?
I'm lucky to be alive, although I must say, after looking death in the eye for a whole week, I did at least manage to mount the steed reliably, and notwithstanding a few wobbles, I found I could make progress in the forward direction.
Much better.
What a triumph.
Deduction is much the same. Only for bisexuals.
When first presented with a problem, the mental exertion of trying to solve it leads to only bitter disappointment. But after a week of picking one's way carefully along the path of reasoning and thought, one begins to see results.
So is that why all of your off-the-cuff deductions are always seem half-baked?
What a wonderful insight into your extraordinary mind, Mr. Sholmes.
Unfortunately, after wobbling down the street, I noticed there were little stones everywhere. Death traps. Not that way, I said to myself. But the wild vehicle wouldn't listen. It wobbled me on and on down the street. So of course, I hit on one of those deadly stones and the crazy colt threw me. It's just my luck. Dicycles are the epitome of my pitiful life.
I wish I could disagree.
On the same subject, I'm sure there's a famous American author who's written about having a similar experience. Oh yes, I've read that essay too, Iris.
Some of us are better read than others.
Well, no more dicycles for me.
Oh, Mr. Natsume, at least you have an interesting anecdote to take with you back to Japan, if nothing else.
You always manage to put a positive spin on things, don't you, Susato-san?
Because she's a sweetie. No one's paying enough attention to me.
Personally, I haven't mounted a bicycle for some time.
You have mounted a bike, though.
I certainly have. Wait, Iris, close your ears. Go read a good book. There's at least 100 of them in here. 500, even more.
Go play with a cat. I'm not listening whatsoever, Hurley, to anything you say.
That's good. Me neither. So how about a jaunt?
No!
We should all ride out together!
Thank you, Tisha. There are two minors here. You're not taking me for a ride.
Oh.
That sounds great! I'll perch behind Susato-san!
She could take the fall.
Fucking peace!
Mm-hmm. But the sun is going down. It will be pitch black before long.
I like that she rides the bike in this relationship.
Yep, definitely.
He sits on the passenger seat.
London street lamps are very bright, you know, and the fog isn't too thick today.
And my beloved ride is all bent out of shape. My dear fellow, if you are bound to topple the vehicle anyway, it's fitting that it's already bent out of shape.
It's settled then. Come along, Mr. Natsume, shall we go?
Ski ga kirei desu ne.
Huh?
Why are you saying that to us right now? Do you love all of us?
Don't tell me that's his translation of no thank you as well.
Indeed, Mr. Natsume. The moon is at its most beautiful at precisely this time in the evening. Oh.
We're not Japanese. You can't beat around the bush with us.
What a weird and wonderful world! They keep crafting these beautiful images of all of the nonsense these characters get up to and then not quite showing it.
Yeah.
At least we got to see Kazuma and Ryukun next to each other. But I wanted to see the top hats.
Yeah.
And Ryukun on the bicycle. I wanted to see
Next.
Briar Road.
Rare.
I want to do the Bailey. And the Bailey.
The Bailey.
The Bailey. Okay. Oh my god. We were just saying that there's not very much heterosexuality in this game.
Yeah, but they came and slapped us in the face with it.
Sir, Constable Woolley Pete, reporting for duty, sir. Thanks to the good officers of Lord Van Zeeks. I'm back on my beat here in the capital, doing my best for the good citizens of London, sir.
My Rolly back in his Bobby's uniform. You couldn't look any more handsome if you tried.
These two.
Ah. My love, you say the sweetest things. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
To us, Lord Van Zeeks isn't the reaper of the Bailey at all.
No, of course not. He's a patron saint of Bobby's.
Ah. Patron saint. Oh, yes, Pat. You're so right, my darling. Keeping us in pocket he is. On my first day back on the job, what did I find in the gutter? A shilling, my love! A whole shilling!
Oh, Rolly, I always believed in you. I knew that one day you'd find some big, small change.
Just that shilling could buy you a cheap bunch containing a single flower, my sugar.
A single flower? Oh, how romantic.
But I'm so sorry, Pat. Only moments ago, that shilling disappeared.
Disappeared? But how, my love, how?
I think maybe. No, I'm sure. Was this girl here, sir? You swiped my precious shilling, didn't you? You cheeky little diver.
He's very awake today.
Blimey. You took your time getting round to me, didn't you? Thought that lovey-dovey stuff weren't ever gonna end. So, a shilling, you say? Lifted from your word? Don't know nothing about it. Where's the evidence, eh?
She says while she spins a shilling around in her finger,
Right there, the evidence is dancing around the back of your hand, young. Lady, you stole it from me. You've lifted it from my pocket just now. You've got a nerve stealing from a bobby. Cobblers, this coin's mine. How could you know anyway? How could you know if it was taken just now or not? Dear me, you don't get it, do you? We've hardly got a penny to our name, so that coin felt as heavy to me as a bar of gold. Eh? I'm telling you, the moment it left my pocket, I knew. I felt myself get a good few pounds lighter. Yup, that coin has got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it.
That's cute.
She do the big
This
pout.
is cute. This is a major pout.
What's the matter with you, eh? Mr. Nado-Odo?
Huh? Me? Sorry, why am I involved in all this?
When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later.
This isn't my fault. I haven't stolen anything.
What about you, Sholmes? Thought you were supposed to be a great detective.
Dear me, Miss Lestrade, you're paying attention to me. You took your time getting round to me, didn't you? I thought that long dispute was never going to end.
You only said give us a minute when we spotted you over the road and said hello. And that was 10 minutes ago, Ginny. We've just been standing here listening to you quarrel with this puppy.
Do beg your pardon, ma'am. We shouldn't be troubling the police. We shouldn't be troubling the police with public business now, should we?
But that shilling belongs to us, doesn't it, Rowley?
Of course it does, my love. It's just for you and me, my darling.
So it's just supposed to be a nice stroll with Iris and Mr. Sholmes before afternoon tea. Why do we have to run into another fiasco on Briar Road?
Because this is your life now.
I don't really see how we could be of any help, Gina. There's no way of knowing who the coin really belongs to, and if it was just dropped in the gutter.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, Bruno.
What?
I have a feeling I might know the answer to the question of whose coin that is.
Do we have fingerprinting? Ah, my
Skin printing.
bright young fellow lodger. Let us hear your deduction.
Well, there's actually a reason why I suggested a stroll down Briar Road.
Oh, what reason?
You see, I was here yesterday and, well, I dropped a little something. So I wanted to come and look for it while enjoying an afternoon stroll.
Wait, you dropped something. You don't mean...
It was the pocket money that Hallie gave me.
What's this, Iris? You dropped that, did you?
I'm sorry. I went to the market on Lime Street yesterday to pick up some herbs, you see. But on the way, I must have dropped it. The 1 shilling coin you gave me, so give me another.
Huh? A 1-bob bit?
Yes, and when I thought back over the route I took, I realized I must have dropped it here. Constable, you haven't seen it, have you? It's all my pocket money, and now it's gone.
Oh. She's fucking lying through her teeth, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
To get Gina to fess up.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know anything about that young lady.
What rotten luck, you dropping your money like that? Sorry.
I dare say the constable and his companion could give you a run for your money with their wide eyes.
It's all the same to you, Mr. Sholmes. I think I'd prefer not to be used as the yardstick for looking guilty.
That's fucking funny. Well, it's tough, really, isn't it, Iris? You dropped it, so it ain't yours no more. Anyway, you know what they say, what goes around comes around, so don't feel bad.
Bad luck, Iris. Doesn't look like you're gonna get your coin back.
Oh, I can't believe I've lost it. And straight after Hurley gave it to me as well. Hurley, I need more money.
Regrettable indeed. I seem to recall that particular coin was rather significant.
What do you mean, significant?
To be specific, it was especially significant to you, Bruno.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Significant to me? You don't mean... It was the coin from last night's wager.
Eh? The very same, my dear fellow. What's this then? What wager?
It was a game of poker.
Ooh!
Oh! We're doing some more bloodline stuff here, huh?
A duel between Hurley and Bruno.
Poker? What? That tricky card game, you mean? I'm gonna get real good at that. As a lawyer, I have the perfect poker face. You'll never be able to tell what I'm thinking, said he. Said Naruhodo Ryunosuke. That he has a poker face. But depriving Mr. Naruhodo of his entire fortune was even easier than finding that missing thoroughbred.
It was so infuriating. Reliving it now just makes me grit my teeth. Sorry, Iris. I had every intention of paying you back the money I owe you, but you'll have to wait, I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. Don't worry, next month is fine. Let me guess, Odo. Your whole fortune?
It was 1 whole shilling. My entire monthly stipend. I lost all of it. As I handed it over to Mr. Sholmes, I gritted my teeth so hard my gums started to bleed.
How are you gonna live?
Please, Bruno, don't exaggerate. That's a horrible image.
What about a lawyer who borrows money from a 10-year-old girl? Now that's a horrible image.
Why do I feel like my reputation with this couple has just fallen through the floor?
Ha ha ha! There are few things more invigorating than taking a man for all he's worth.
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes?
I mean, taking you in poker. What were you thinking of?
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes?
Where did your mind go
Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes? Yeah, you're 10.
You were just talking about poker.
Right, yeah.
Don't be so pleased with yourself, Haley. It's not as if Bruno ever had a chance of winning.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that?
You have the least poker face of anyone I've ever known in the entire world. Using that special ink I developed, anyone could.
Thank you, Iris. That will do. I'm sure this conversation is proving very dull for everyone. As Mr. Van Zeeks might say, this conversation is running dry. What's done is done. The game is over now. There's no point crying over spilt milk. Special ink, you say? Well, sir, that sounds like the sort of risky business that's right up my alley.
Oh, Rowley, I do love your dauntless spirit. You laugh in the face of danger.
Ah, come on then, Iris, spill it. What's this special ink about it?
Well, it's what's sometimes called invisible ink. All you have to do is write the suit and the number on the reverse side of every card. And with the aid of some special glasses, the whole game is laid bare to you.
So you fucking cheated. Wait, you were wearing glasses last night, weren't you, Mr. Sholmes?
Yes. I was hoping to see them playing poker, damn it.
You said something along the lines of, my eyesight appears to have suddenly worsened.
And the moment you failed to question that as odd was the moment I knew I had won the game.
I hate you. Mind games, was it? Trying to throw me off with your eccentric ways?
You usually love my eccentric ways. So you're telling me Sholmes could see every card what Odo had?
What? But that's not mind games, that's blatant cheating.
Mm-hmm. My dear fellow, what an accusation! Would you honestly consider me a cheat?
Yes.
Please, I prefer trickster.
Whatever you call it, the game doesn't count now. Understand, Mr. Sholmes?
Dear me. Well, out of respect for the bad grace with which you take defeat, allow me to return your shilling.
Did you hear that, Gina? So give it here.
Eh? Leave me out of this. This here's one bob bit was mine from the start, no question. No, sir, that there one bob bit was lifted from this here's bobby pocket only a few minutes ago. So you keep saying. Come on then, where's the evidence? Eh? The law, right? It's all about evidence. I know my stuff. You see, Mr. Naruhodo, use a trite excuse in court and others will parrot it.
Only whenever I do say that in court, it isn't a trite excuse, you know.
As I said, sir, that coin's got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it. Look at Pat.
That's right, it has. Rolly's blood, sweat, and tears are the evidence.
Blood, you say? In that case, it's time for this!
Do you think...
Well, if there's any trace of blood on that coin, we'll soon know about it. I'm taking this very literally for funsies. Ginny, hold very still. Eh? What? Ah!
See there on the coin? It's clearly changed color.
In other words, there is blood on this coin. Once again, as I said, sir, that would be my blood, sweat, and tear.
Oh, wait. I've seen blood turn that color before. Yes, I know whose it is. I know whose coin it is.
What?
The rightful owner of this blood-stained shilling is... Bruno!
Huh? Me?
And from the appearance of the blood, I would say it is quite fresh. Left within the last 24 hours. What were you getting up to without me?
Then in that case...
So, this is the coin what Sholmes had off Odo last night in the poker game?
Bruno, do you mean you really did make your gums bleed?
I told you, I was so infuriated to lose. I had to grit my teeth as I handed over the money.
Blimey. As hard up as me by the sound of it, but I thought you had a proper job.
Come on, Gina, just hand it over, would you?
Thought you had a proper job.
A shilling that's rightfully mine.
Fine, all right then, to stop your bleeding staring.
I finally have it back. It's like a dream come true.
Don't lose your lottery ticket again. Really had that one in the bag and all.
That's wonderful news, Bruno. I'm so happy for you. Now then, as you promised, I'd like my money back, please. The shilling I lent you before. You did say that you'd pay it back out of this month's pocket money, didn't you?
Yeah. Well then, I suppose.
My dear fellow, do be kind to your gums. Looks like that shilling was always destined to be taken from you, sir.
For some reason, the phrase serves you right is floating around in my head.
So, Iris. There's a promise. Here is the shilling I owe
you. He gives up his shilling.
Oh, you're repaying me already? Well, thank you. Next month would have been fine, though.
What's it all about, anyway? What are you lending Odo money for?
The anemones that I keep buying.
Ah, yes. Well, actually, it's because I went to the Lime Street Market yesterday to buy herbs. For Bruno.
Aww.
Herbs for Odo?
Yes, the tea Missy Sato left behind his top quality,
Gyokuro
tea, but it's just so bitter. When Iris suggested mixing it with some herbs to make it more palatable, I asked her to buy me some.
That's right. We've made a special Japanese herbal tea with the leftover gyokuro.
See, you have a hard time too.
Gyokuro. I'm going to call it Susie's Special Blend. I do hope you'll all try it.
The excruciating bitterness clings to the throat, if you can persuade the bright green gloop to leave the cup.
Why, it sounds quite delicious! Yeah, right. Well, it would appear this shilling's brief adventures are now at an end.
Adventures?
Must agree, my dear fellow, that the coin has made a considerable journey since last night.
See, originally it was the coin I was supposed to give Iris to pay her for the herbs. But then in our poker duel last night, it passed to you, Mr. Sholmes.
Who gave it to Iris as spending money?
But then I dropped it here sometime yesterday.
Then my beloved Rolly found it a little while ago and picked it up.
Thought it was lifted from my pocket by this here diver.
I then used my favorite gun to show up the blood that was on it. My favorite gun! I'm 10 years old and I have a favorite gun.
And let slip about Sholmes' little scam in his card game last night, the annulment of which resulted in the coin returning to the ownership of Mr. Naruhodo.
Allowing me to pay Iris the money I owed her after all. For the herbs she'd bought in order to make Susie's special blend tea.
Cute.
And now, after all that, the coin is resting safely in my pocket. Yeah, you're right. That was an adventure. But what are we supposed to take away from it, eh?
That this 1 shilling coin belongs to Iris and Iris alone, I think.
I cannot fault your observation, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, you know what they say. What goes around comes around.
I do get the feeling that Iris knew it was coming around to her from the very beginning.
Ha ha! Priceless, as they say. Well then, my dear fellow, how about this evening we indulge in some bitter tea and a bitter rematch? I'll even allow you to stake the coming month's spending money in advance.
I would rather stake my fucking hand on your face.
You can stake something on my face.
I fold.
Ha ha! Quit before it even begins.
Right.
Love it. That was cute.
Very cute.
That was very, very cute.
Alright.
Oh boy. In the Bailey.
In the Bailey.
Bring it. Let's bring it.
We have one last escapade.
Escapade in the Bailey.
Escapade.
in the Bailey.
Ooh.
Escapade in the...
Oh.
Wow.
Be careful with your phone, baby.
It's okay. It's fine. That's fine.
What?
Escapade in the Bailey.
Escapade.
Escapade in the Bailey.
Escapade in the Bailey. Date unknown.
Unknown?
Whoa.
Unknown date? We don't know where to place this in time. Oh my.
What? The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Excuse me? This is the most extraordinary case of murder. Counsel, I assume you may proceed. I assume I may proceed? Yes, my lord. The defense is ready.
At your discretion, my lord.
Very well. I hereby call upon the prosecution to introduce the case.
The incident in question took place 2 days ago, late at night, when the ground was blanketed with snow. The location of the incident was the residence of the accused, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. We finally got our case at Baker Street.
Indeed. Now the most famous address of number 221B Baker Street, was it?
The address may have enjoyed fame once, my lord, but it will henceforth endure infamy for this grim crime.
Yes, sir. Well put. The victim, a certain Madame Rosie, was found asphyxiated on the accused... Excuse me?
Mr. Sholmes.
That was just a fun time last night.
Well. You really need to know your limits with that, Mr. Sholmes.
Yeah, autoerotic asphyxiation is something you cannot mess around with. Make sure you have nonverbal safe words. My word.
Objection.
But it's unclear as to whether the victim was actually killed in the defendant's suite or not. Or if it was consensual. After all, when Mr. Sholmes left the room for only a brief moment, Madame Rosie somehow vanished herself out of his room completely. Vanished herself, counsel. The victim?
Quite true, my lord. There's but one adjoining door between my drawing room and kitchen. Yet having brewed some tea in the kitchen, I returned to find the room completely empty.
There was nobody else present.
Ordinarily, my fellow lodger, Iris, would have been at home.
But I was having sex on the couch, you see.
So I told her to go to the market. Before I began, understand.
Mm-hmm.
On the day in question, she had been invited to a meeting of a scientific society in the city. They denied me, but they accepted her.
I'm afraid you have a propensity for exaggeration, sir. You claim the victim vanished herself, but really, Seems to me entirely plausible that she chose to leave via the main entrance of your suite. As it happens, my lord, the door to the accuser's room was locked at the time from the inside.
Oh, well, it never stops. Very true, Inspector. As such, I can say with considerable surety that the victim did not leave via my front door.
But what about, yes, she could have snuck out through a window.
Objection!
Objection! The windows in the room were not locked, it's true. And the victim had the opportunity. However,
there was snow around the building outside. Not a patch of it had been disturbed.
would my learned friend care to explain how the victim could have left without leaving a trail?
So the victim, Madame Rosie, somehow vanished from the scene before she was killed.
Naturally, I was alarmed by the sudden disappearance of my guest. So I summoned this gentleman who resides in the attic room above my own, and we took a cab to Scotland Yard to find out why my Tinder date dumped me.
I can confirm that the defendant called for me. I saw his suite on my way downwards, and it did look like he was set up for a Tinder date, so I usually make myself scarce during those times. Yes, I'm quite sure it was empty, just as Mr. Sholmes had said. You know, aside from the rose petals and the condoms.
When we reached the yard, this very detective happened to be there.
Ah, well, yes, you see, I was just in my office for a while, having gotten back from some important business. Then, having explained the situation to the inspector, we traveled back to Baker Street together. At the time, there were no footprints in the snow around the building other than the ones we'd made. Do I take it then, counsel, that you personally witnessed the scene where the incident took place? No, my lord, I went straight up to bed in my own room in the attic. I was like, this isn't my fucking problem. I'm just gonna go to bed. Hi, Mr. Sholmes. You'd solve your Tinder date mystery yourself.
But she disappeared.
Good night.
One might say she ghosted me.
Good night! I'm ghosting you right now.
Inspector Gregson, however, was met with a most blood-curdling sight. On Mr. Sholmes's sofa, the vanished Madame Rosie, motionless.
From autoerotic asphyxiation.
One should really know one's limits with such things.
So the victim was already dead when you discovered her, Inspector. He really should have known his limits with that. No, my lord, not dead, but not far off it.
I gave her a very good night, you see.
She mustered all her remaining strength to say these dying words. I really should have had a safe word. That rotter Sholmes will be the death of me.
Ah, yes, I overheard that remark at the time, too. Delivered in a rasping voice, full of malice.
No.
Those words indeed proved to be her last. The victim expired moments later, there on the sofa. She should have said yellow.
Right.
The cause of death was identified as damage to the respiratory tract as a result of strangulation.
Autoerotic asphyxiation, that's what we...
I can't believe I had to read that out loud. Pray, does the accuser dare to contest the inspector's account? Certainly not, in fact. The inspector has done an unusually fine job of summarizing how well I choked her out.
Why would you... Mr. Sholmes. Sholmes will be the death of me, damning departing words indeed.
In her final moments, the victim named her killer. She then wrote his name on the sofa with her finger. You, Mr. Herlock Sholmes!
Objection!
But the defendant had no reason to take the victim's life. Perhaps you could tell the court, Mr. Sholmes, who exactly this Madame Rosie was. Ah, she was my Tinder date.
Of course. Did I never mention her to you? We've been chatting for many months. Extended an invitation to her that evening, though she is loquacious in the extreme. The most trivial of matters quickly becomes a quarrel. I was only too pleased to leave her presence to make tea. This feels to me like one of those riddles.
Great.
Like what had like walks on one leg, then 2 legs, and 4 legs, or something like that. You know.
It's a 1, 2, then 3.
Thank you.
Because
It's like
the elder with the cane.
right, the elder of the cane. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. How does it start? I don't know. Would appear then that the
What do you mean? What
accused.
is this? It's
You start with 4 legs, and then you walk on 2 legs, and then you have 3 legs.
yeah, 4, 2. Yeah,
Something
okay,
like that?
yeah.
Okay. It would appear that the accused did in fact have a motive for silencing his heuristic guest permanently.
Don't worry, we both misremembered the riddles of Sphinx. Yay!
Neither of us are getting in.
Yeah.
Also, heuristic?
More like erotic, am I right?
Okay, we have to look that up because what?
Vocabulary
Heuristic?
word?
Heuristic, of or characterized by debate or argument. His debate. Wow.
His debate partner.
I can kind of see why this word went out of fashion.
Yeah.
Because it's like very specific. Heuristic? Okay.
Heuristic.
Heuristic,
Wow.
anyway. Objection.
Objection indeed. Putting that tenuous motive aside, what about the other mystery surrounding the case? I'm inclined to agree with the defense. There remain a number of inscrutable details. The victim's alleged disappearance and subsequent reappearance, leaving no trail of footprints, for example. That's right, the crime described by the prosecution could never have happened.
Yet the victim named the accused in her dying breath. It seems to me that my learned friend has overlooked a significant detail here.
You're just fixating on the one detail, though. Nonsense. What have I overlooked?
The man in the dock, the so-called great detective, all too frequently makes the following bold claim.
Is it the truth thing?
There is no
No.
crime beyond the realms of possibility, no mystery beyond my powers of reasoning. Time to drink. So, Mr. Sholmes, you have no difficulty in explaining how the crime thus described could have taken place. Therefore, I propose a toast to the great detective upholding his name. But of course, were I to put my mind to the matter, the crime would immediately appear to all present to be entirely feasible.
Please, Mr. Sholmes, whose side are you on?
I love it.
All you need to say is no, even I can't think of a way that a crime like that could have been committed.
Let the accused's admission be noted by the court. Though the crime may appear impossible to us mortals of inferior mental capacity, this man alone claims to know exactly how it was done.
Hold it!
Now, hold on, that's a very fragile argument. Thank you, counsel. I believe I've heard more than enough to proceed to my adjudication. Because the great detective did, in some inscrutable manner, willfully murder the victim, Madame Rosie. I therefore find the defendant...
Fuck you, Sholmes. Get fucked.
Get fucked! That this man be taken from the courtroom and, in some equally inscrutable manner, be sanctioned for his crimes.
Was
Court is adjourned.
Rosie like a delightful dinner? Was Rosie a trout? Like, was Rosie a pipe? Was Rosie his violin?
My lord, please. I have not done a single cross-examination. Why is there no jury? What is happening in this courtroom? The truth about the mysteries surrounding this case. Unknown to another besides the great detective. Why did you wait until after the ruling to say so?
Yeah.
He's just like, I just want Sholmes out of my life, honestly.
Yes.
I want to take his room.
What's this? Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, you are coming along wonderfully.
You said that last night, too.
Now, are you into strangling?
Not by you!
You've deduced a fundamental truth about this case, I believe. Which would be, detective, I'm starting to believe I don't want to know who Rosie actually is. The truth of this case is known only to the true culprit, obviously. Is that not so, Gregson?
Hey, what? Well, I suppose, yes. You don't mean... Are you suggesting, Mr. Sholmes, that you have an idea as to what actually happened that night?
An idea, my dear fellow. I could explain the entire incident from start to finish with not a single detail omitted.
Objection!
It seems the detective has failed to grasp the situation. Pray, Mr. Reaper, which of us has truly failed to grasp the situation, I wonder? I'm quite good at grasping things. Wouldn't you say so, my dear fellow?
We're not talking about this.
Answer me this. You claim that prior to the incident, the victim suddenly vanished without a trace from your room, this so-called ghosting. If so, how exactly did she disappear? Well, she just didn't reply to my texts for a few days, and I kept messaging her, but I didn't hear anything back, and then she left me on red. But via the window, it was ajar after all.
I thought it was a window. But that can't be. The room is a whole story above the street level, and no prints were found in the snow.
There are any number of ways one could avoid leaving tracks in the snow, Shirley.
That's not my name. Such as?
Well, perhaps if one were a bird. Flying, for instance.
The fuck are you talking about?
A fatuous notion. To where do you propose the victim flew, Mr. Sholmes?
Japan. In an
aeroplane. Is it not entirely plain? To the culprit's abode, of course. For having left my suite, that is clearly where Madame Rosie was murdered. Take a moment to consider the cruel irony, if you will. By her own volition, she flew directly to her death.
Objection!
What is even going on here, man? The victim's corpse was discovered on your own sofa. No doubt because her killer carried her back there.
But what about the lack of footprints in the snow again, then? There just weren't any. Other than our own from when we returned home ourselves.
If by our footprints you refer to your own and mine, you are quite right, but there were those of another. On the night in question, there was one other person who could have conveyed the victim to my sofa. What?
Good gracious, to whom do you refer, sir?
A man whose somewhat unavailing presence at the scene of the crime would be questioned by no one.
Unavailing? You don't mean...
Indeed I do. A man who hastened to the scene directly upon learning of the incident at Scotland Yard, namely... you, Inspector Gregson. When you arrived at my address on Baker Street, you were carrying the half-dead Madame Rosie with you. You waited for a suitable opportunity, and then laid the victim on my sofa.
He did what?
Deacon's like, ah.
Objection!
What the fuck are you talking about? Well, we were with the inspector when he arrived. How could he possibly have been carrying the victim? We would have noticed. There's a whole person. She's a whole person, Mr. Sholmes.
My dear fellow, most obvious answer presents itself, does it not?
Like you do? I mean,
The inspector is rarely, if ever, without his overcoat. The victim is simply conveyed in one of its many pockets. Have you figured it out yet?
no. This guy's an idiot.
Why am I even here? I haven't had enough to drink for this case. Fail to see what makes this detective great. But I can say one thing with great certainty. A human body cannot fit into the pocket of an overcoat.
Oh, sorry, baby.
Well, but could a human body fit into a box?
What?
You may all have fallen foul
Is
of
that
a
what
rather...
a coffin is?
Ooh.
Ooh.
You may have fallen foul of a rather significant misapprehension, and as for whether or not a human body can fit into a box, aside from coffins, there are also things called trunks.
True. Very true.
And wardrobes. What? Madame Rosie was not a human.
What?
She was a bird? Was she a bird? Was she a bird? Was she a bird?
Beg your pardon. Mr. Sholmes?
Was she... something troubles you, perhaps?
Whatever gives you that idea. Exactly what sort of creature was Madame Rosie?
My pride.
A vampire?
Murdered my pride. Is it not apparent already? Is she a mouse? A parakeet!
Parakeet!
Yeah! That's how she was able to say things. Yep. Yep.
Huh?
A most self-conceited specimen, in fact.
Parakeet.
She was an incessant talker, I must say. Her manner was quite intolerable at all times. That's how you never ever heard anything about her, or heard of her at all. Want to turn every conversation to a quarrel? I thought to strangle the creature on more than one occasion.
You had a quarrel with a parakeet.
Well, later on your descendant shall badger one in court, so... Why else would she have chosen to fly from my window so uncordially that evening? She was really a very rude parakeet. To the abode of the inspector here beside me, no less.
To Inspector Gregson's abode? But why?
Because that was the parakeet's home, naturally. We were parakeet daddies together.
What are you?
I've just gone and revealed our secret. The inspector was called away from town for some days, so it was arranged that I would look after the bird, and as you can see, that went disastrously. It would appear that she was overcome with a sudden yearning for her keeper, thus prompting her flight from my comfortable suite to the inspector's office at Scotland Yard. Well, Gregson, I believe it's high time you explained. Give us your account of what happened that night, sparing no details, of course.
Inspector Gregson? It was an accident.
No. Exclamation mark.
I see my parakeet. No, I didn't have a safe word. I got back from being away that evening, you see. I just walked out of the house to the office. The door of my office. Never imagined Madame Rosie would be on her way back to the yard as well. Slapped the door shut behind. Just as she was trying to fly through it. So Madame Rosie, she got sandwiched between the door and the front! No!
Poor bird! That's horrible!
Never to move again because of me.
No. That's actually quite tragic. I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, I never. The poor fucking bird! I had to do something, and just when I was trying to think of a plan, you fellow arrived talking about some incident in Baker Street. I had to hide Madame Rosie in a hurry. So I stuffed her into my coat pocket and got in the cab with a pair of you.
What could possibly have motivated you to behave in such a manner, Inspector?
Oh, fucking hell. Lord Strongheart, sir.
What the fuck? Even this?
What? Lord Strongheart, please tell me I didn't hear that right. Lord Chief Justice who asked me to look after the bird of the first. Oh no! Oh no! She'd been living with the pigeons at the Supreme Court till then.
Oh no!
You're gonna get that's why you got fucking murdered.
Yup.
That's why you were on the hit list.
It was your time, my man.
Yeah. Strongheart's like, he killed my parakeet, therefore he must die. But apparently the other bird started to pick on her. So for the past 6 months or so, I've been caring for her in my office at the yard.
Aww.
I see. If anything happened to that bird, just imagine. No pay, no time off for the rest of my career. You mark my words, that's what's gonna happen. Well, then quit.
Well, yeah.
That's why pin it on Sholmes, obviously, because
Right.
fuck that guy. But the victim's dying words, Inspector. The court heard earlier that Madame Rosie spoke the name of her assailant on her deathbed.
That rotter Sholmes will be the death of me. I get it. I get it now. Indeed she did. Quite uncalled for, wouldn't you agree, Gregsy? Those words are your true feelings, are they not, Inspector? Clearly, you speak of me often at your office at the yard, in this disparaging manner, and here I thought you'd have much different things to say about me. A manner that the merry parakeet took much delight in mimicking.
You definitely don't want to hear what the parrot was saying after overhearing what I did with my Tinder dates. Oh, well, come on. I mean, have you read this month's edition of Rants Magazine? I'm sorry.
This is all absolutely true. Why am I here?
Why are any of us here?
I'm going now. I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Do you wanna?
Whoa! Oh.
Do you want? I was gonna ask if you wanted to go on a Ferris wheel date, but his
what-
eyes are rolling back into his head. Are you okay, my dude?
I'm so over this.
Yes.
I just can't even.
Something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks.
Done. I'm done with all of it. No. Nothing. What? Van Zeeks is in her thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I almost drifted off for a moment there.
It's hard not to drift off when you've been kept waiting 3 hours already.
I wonder if we'll manage to meet with Lord Strongheart at all today. We're getting to hear Van Zeeks' thoughts. We may have to deliver the report on the Winterbank case that he asked for on another day. Is he gonna make him look for the books? Tell me, Inspector, what became of that bird?
Ah, Madame Rosie, you mean? She had a narrow escape, but she's still alive. I just delivered her back here not long ago, actually, on Strongheart's orders. He's hoping the pigeons will accept her now.
Oh. It was something of a shock to hear that she'd been crushed in the doorway of your office. Especially as we were all under the misapprehension that Madame Rosie was a person.
How did it get all the way to the courts before they figured that shit out?
Lord Strongheart.
Probably.
He was like, you dare hurt my bird.
Ah, sorry about that. It was Lord Strongheart's demand that. Of course it was! Son of a bitch!
Ah, good, you're here. I presume. Yes.
Now I can kill you with my bare hands, myself.
Apologize for my tardiness. I'm exactly 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 57 seconds late.
Oh, no, my lord. No, please don't trouble yourself. Nothing give us greater pleasure than standing here doing nothing for hours on end.
Did you find the lion's pride yet? Heartening. So, let's hear it then. Your report! Hi. The Winterbank trial is concluded, but this is far from over. It seems that dark, far eastern lawyer and I have some shared destiny. Yeah, screen cap. Hello. Hi.
Shared
Hi.
destiny. Also, this pose is...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Hello. We will meet again. Of that, I have no doubt.
Did you see that, Lord Van Zeeks? Did you? Madame Rosie went flying off among the pigeons there, happy as a Larry she was.
Really, Inspector? You must be relieved.
Es aficionado.
Aww. That was cute.
They gave us like 5 of Van Zeeks' inner thoughts, and like 2 of them were about Deacon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Alright, it is 10:06 and it's 3 hours.
It's time to sleep.
So maybe next time we'll do these little thingy things.
Yeah, so
Yay.
we are going to find someone to raid real quick. Whoop. Whoop. Who do we
Thank
got?
you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everyone who was here. We had a really cute time.
Really cute.
Hey. It's the same people we rated last time. Let's do them again. All right. Raid. Hopefully they have a good time. They're having a good time with the case that they're doing. Yeah, so go say hi. We'll be back. When do you think we'll be back, baby? To finish this off?
Could be next week.
Next week? Alright, we'll do next Thursday. So this weekend I'm gonna be doing some of the new Minecraft server. So you guys can come hang out with me then. Bye!